Greg Hancock stood on the podium in Kruško, Slovenia as winner of round 9 of the series and laid down a marker as if to say, write me off at your peril. The World Championship arrived in Slovenia with Britain's Ty Woffenden leading the series by a comfortable 24-point margin ahead of Denmark's Nicky Pedersen and the American Hancock third. Whilst a few places below them, a chasing group of riders all looked to score plenty of points on the night, hoping to secure a top 8 position and automatic qualification into 2016. It took the best part of half the evening for the racing to reach the levels of excitement the series has enjoyed in recent meetings. But when it did, there were plenty of thrills and spills for the appreciative Slovenian crowd to enjoy, despite home favourite Mati Zegar struggling due to an injury sustained from a heavy crash in Gorzów in the previous Grand Prix. The final eventually proved to be a top 3 championship shootout, with Woffenden, Pedersen and Hancock joined by Denmark's rising star Peter Killerman. Hancock in red yet again made one of his textbook starts, something the American had been doing all evening, to leave the others eating his dirt and taking the checkered flag for the first time.
I would have rather be in a lot more of the finals, but as it is now, that one paid off really good. Still three big rounds to go, especially here in Stockholm, so it's game on.
With 3 rounds to go, Britain's Ty Woffenden still has a comfortable lead of 25 points at the top of the World Championship. The win in Slovenia means Greg Hancock now leaps Nicky Pedersen into 2nd place in the series. Zegar, who had a poor night in Kruško, is still 4th, followed closely by Iversen, Holder, Doyle and Janowski in 8th.
At the end of the day, if I bring my A game, that should be enough to be world champion, and if I don't bring my A game, then we'll see what happens. But you know, as long as I do what I know I can do, then that should be enough for me and enough to lift the crown at the end of the year.
You know, you got to keep the pressure on and try to get that guy to drop some points, but it's not easy. He's on form.
Yeah, Ty slipped away. You know, he's been going his way all season, so fair play. I looking for the top 3. You know, that's my spot, and if I get myself sorted out with the equipment, then I can hunt for the 2nd place.
So the series moves north to Stockholm, Sweden for round 10. This is the 3rd time the Friends Arena has hosted a round of the World Championship, and it's a move back onto a temporary track under the roof of this state-of-the-art venue. Despite Sweden winning the World Cup earlier in the year, for the home fans, 2015 has not been a great year, as both Andreas Jonsson and Thomas H. Jonassen both find themselves outside the top 8. Both struggling to find form, but more worryingly, both currently needing a wildcard invite into the series for next year.
Yeah, it's been really hard, struggling a lot, and we have been looking for the problem for quite a while, but I think we find something different now.
It's pretty tough, and I know I can do it. It's just needed the right time to turn it back, you know, and hopefully I can do it now at the home track.
Hi there, good evening and a very warm welcome to the Stockholm FIM Speedway Grand Prix from the magnificent Friends Arena here in this beautiful city, Stockholm. It is round number 10 of the World Speedway Championship. Kelvin Tatum is alongside me, former World Long Track Champion, former England Speedway skipper and world finalist as well. Kelvin, it's nicely poised, round number 10 coming up. Greg Hancock in some fantastic form, lives in Sweden for 6 months of the year, but has never won a Grand Prix in Sweden. It's a remarkable stat.
It is indeed, and you've got to believe that one day he will break that hoodoo. He would dearly love to do it here this evening and back up that brilliant result he had 2 weeks ago in Kruško, where he had 20 points. Scored 37 points in the last 2 rounds, so the American, the world champion, has been in fine form in the last 2 rounds, but he's up against it, a 25-point lead for the World Championship leader. He's basically got one hand on the trophy, so Hancock just needs to keep pushing as hard as he can.
3rd time we've been here for the Grand Prix here in Stockholm, and it really is a superb state-of-the-art stadium, multi-use stadium, of course. Football is played on the pitch here, but also they have pop concerts, they have other motorsport events as well, and it really is great to be here once again. So the riders getting set. Jim Lawrence of Great Britain is our referee, and we have Greg Hancock out here in the white helmet, gate number 3, heat number 1. Can Hancock continue his wonderful run of form? Here's the first race of the night coming up. Here we go, heat number 1 here in Stockholm tonight. Chris Harris of Great Britain going off the inside in red with Michael Jepsen Jensen, gate 2 in blue. Greg Hancock goes off gate 3 in white. Can he continue that stunning form that he showed a fortnight ago? And Jason Doyle of Australia going from the outside gate. Kelvin Tatum alongside me. Can anybody stop this man in heat number 1? Greg Hancock off gate number 3.
His favourite, you're absolutely right. He was in sparkling form 2 weeks ago in Slovenia. Koskro won brilliantly with a 20-point haul. Jason Doyle on the outside also has been riding strongly in this year's competition. A couple of mistakes along the way for the Australian, but is now well ensconced in the top 8, looking like he's going to retain his Grand Prix status.
It's like home from home this for Hancock, because he is based in Stockholm, or the outskirts of Stockholm, for what, about 6 months of the year. Spends the winter back in his home California, of course, but he would love to win here in Stockholm tonight. First race of the night then, Jim Lawrence of Great Britain with his finger on the button. He's the man in charge. Here we go, heat number 1 of the Stockholm FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Green light goes on, and they're away. First time of asking. Hancock, can he get there? It's a good start from the inside. The man in red is Chris Harris, and now here comes Hancock around the outside. What a start from Chris Harris of Great Britain. Real battle for second developing. Doyle and Hancock, and up the inside comes Jepsen Jensen. They're all bunched up for second, but what a start from Chris Harris. The inside gate.
Oh, drama! Jason Doyle all over the back of Jepsen Jensen. Very fortunate not to come down. Terrific start from Harris, is out in front, but Hancock is now beginning to put the British rider under all sorts of pressure. We have seen in the previous 2 temporary tracks the inside gate being a huge advantage of the line. Hancock up the inside, the American steams to the front. What a ride from the world champion.
Harris just went slightly too wide. That allowed the gap for Hancock to come through. Picked his moment magnificently, and it's the 3 times world champion Greg Hancock. Didn't make the start. My goodness, he worked hard. He is hugely popular here in Sweden, and he has just pulled off a magnificent ride to pass Chris Harris, who congratulates him there. Good start to the night.
Yeah.
Commiserations to Jason Doyle in yellow, but that was a super move from Hancock when he spotted the gap.
Yeah, Harris will be kicking himself, Nigel. There was no doubt that he had that race under control. Hancock had made inroads to his lead, but just needed to stay on the inside. Drifted off the inside, and Hancock pounced. What a ride from the champion.
Hancock, Harris, Jepsen Jensen, the finishing order, with Jason Doyle, of course, missing out with that little incident in the first race of the night. Commiserations to him, but Greg Hancock doing it the hard way, and 3 more points to his tally, and he really is a man on form. The last 2 GPs, goodness me, 17 and 20 points respectively.
Yeah, 37-point haul so far, and he's now picked up 3 more in his opening ride here this evening. We see the start, and it's Harris on the inside. Gate 1 works very nicely for him. Doyle then puts pressure on the world champion Hancock, who's in 2nd place now. As they come into turn 3 here, Doyle pushes him really wide. Now you see the clash there, heavy clash. Very fortunate to stay on the bike, in actual fact, Doyle. He gets relegated to the back. Then the mistake from Harris. Harris running too wide, pulls a locker, and allows the world champion up the inside to steal the win away. Great start. Opportunist move for the world champion. Gets the better of Harris.
And all of a sudden, the gap on Woffenden is 22 points. Woffenden, by the way, coming out in heat number 3, but heat number 2 is coming up next here, and there's a battle of the Swedes. 3 Swedish riders off the inside 3 gate positions. Kelvin, it is one thing about the temporary tracks. We saw it in Cardiff, we saw it in Horsens in Denmark. Yeah. The inside gates are a huge advantage.
They have been, and it was so here last year with 10 heat wins from the inside gate, but they have specifically worked the track and ripped the track over gates 3 and 4, Nigel, to try and even things up this evening, because in Horsens and in Cardiff it was very lopsided towards the inside gates.
Andreas Johnson off 1, Antonio Lindback goes off gate 2, the wild card tonight. Thomas H. Jonasson goes off gate number 3. It's been a tough year for him in the GP. And Peter Killerman goes off the outside, the Dane, at 10 Grand Prix that he has ridden in, that wonderful record, and 5 final appearances. Can he keep that record going here tonight?
Well, he has an exceptional record, you're right, saying there, and he's won it, of course, in his homeland in Horsens. Really has done himself a world of good. on his coming into the Grand Prix series. Here we go.
Yep, here we go with heat number 2, and it's a good start from Jonsson off the inside gate. Now what can Killerman do on the outside in yellow as he goes wide into the dirt? Jonassen is third, Lindback is at the back now, going hard into turn 3 at the back. Lindback locks up, but Killerman is holding second, and Lindback battling with Jonassen, and now Killerman is going to put Andreas Jonsson under all sorts of pressure in this second race of the night.
Yeah, the inside gate working well once again, Nigel. Terrific stuff from Jonsson out in front, dominating proceedings. Antonio Lindback getting the better of Thomas H. Jonassen. Now beginning to push hard in third place with Kilderman, who made a good effort from the outside, but Andreas Jonsson needs wins. In truth, can't really afford to drop any points at all. Jonsson out in front with a lap to go.
Yeah, did do a great job in Great Britain for Bellevue Aces in their playoff semi-finals against Swindon. Jonsson was a real star as a guest rider for the Bellevue Aces and has helped them get through to the final. And here, in heat number 2, he has won his first race of the night. AJ Andreas Jonsson, with all that experience, of course. This is his 146th Grand Prix appearance tonight. Been there and done it, one Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Finished with medals, of course, during his career. It's not been his year this year, though, Andreas Jonsson, but a real tidy start to the meeting for him.
Yeah, the ideal start, and once again the inside gate is proving to be an advantage in the opening 2 races, and Jonsson doesn't make any mistakes out in front and wins relatively comfortably in the end.
Yep, it is Jonsson, Killerman, Lindback and Thomas H. Jonassen, the finishing order there, the second race of the night, and basically from the gate for Andreas Jonsson, although there was a bit of drama towards the back of that heat. The Swedes Lindback and Jonsson battling away, but great stuff from Andreas Jonsson.
Yeah, good to see a class act. You're dead right. He rode brilliantly for the Bellevue Aces in the last week, doing a fine job for them, and he does a fine job for himself here off the inside gate. Makes it work round the first corner. Antonio Lindback, the wild card, gets a little bit boxed out of it here. He's relegated to the back and has to work very hard to get the better of Thomas H. Jonassen, which he does. He moves himself into third place. Kilderman second. Hard charging Kilderman. Looked threatening early on, but all credit to Jonsson. Rides a steady line, a classy line. Here's the move from Lindback. Strong move to get the better of Thomas H. Jonassen, who has been disappointing this year in the GPs. But out in front, Andreas Jonsson, the perfect start for him.
Certainly is, and ahead of the meeting tonight, Andreas Jonsson in 11th place in the World Championship. Very little prospect of making the cut for the top 8. We know, of course, there's a couple of exciting additions to the series next year in the Polish duo of Smarslik and Pawlicki after the GP Challenge. Looking forward to seeing them in action next year in the Speedway Grand Prix. And we're up to heat number 3 here now, and the series leader is in this race. Niels Christian Iversen goes off the inside. Mats Janowski, gate 2 in blue. The series leader, Ty Woffenden, goes off gate number 3 in white, focusing on his own form, preferring not to focus on the man just behind him, Greg Hancock, who's now 22 behind Woffenden, and off the outside is Kasper Zak. Woffenden's been injured the last 2 occasions here in Stockholm, Kel.
Yeah, it hasn't been a happy hunting ground for him, Nigel. You're dead right, and he's only scored 14 points in 2 visits, so he'll be looking to improve upon that this evening. Iversen, who's a bit of a specialist on these indoor tracks and has won on a previous occasion here. In actual fact, the first time we came here in 2013, he picked up the top spot, so he'll be looking for a big night.
Here we go then, heat number 3 of the Grand Prix here in Stockholm, and Iversen has made a good one. Woffenden has been left standing at the start, and the red lights are on straight away.
Oh, a disastrous start there for the championship leader. Missed the start completely out of gate 3, then looked to move to the inside, but mistimed it. Clipped the back wheel of a rider. His front wheel was taken from underneath him, and I tell you what, he hasn't had any luck here at this venue, and that's not the ideal way to start this evening.
Just checking his knee now as well.
He misses the start out of gate 3, tries to go to the inside, and Janowski's back wheel clouts his front wheel and wipes him out before he even gets to the first corner. Quite an extraordinary start for the championship leader.
Well, there's no exclusion light on. It looks as though it is going to be all 4 riders back for the restart.
He's missed that quite badly,
yeah,
and he's
tried to chop up the inside.
Tried to chop to the inside, but mistimed it, Nige. Needed to wait a fraction of a second longer. And a little bit fortunate, in actual fact, to be in the rerun, because it was a pilot error. It was a misjudgment from Ty there.
OK, all 4 back it is, then is the decision. Woffenden, who in 2013 had that crash with Thomas Golub, which put Thomas Golub in hospital. Woffenden, meanwhile, went on to challenge for the world title with a re-broken collarbone. Last year, he came into this meeting with a dislodged knuckle from a British League meeting at Eastbourne. And here tonight, his first race of the night is ended up on the deck, so...
Yeah, hasn't had a great run at this venue, has he? And quite clearly, that's not the ideal. Well, slightly unusual crash, incident rather, going to the first corner. For him to be off the bike before he gets to the corner is a strange one. But it was a slight misjudgment from Ty there.
But you'd made the point earlier when we were talking before we came on air, Kelvin. He's got a couple of outside gates later on in the meeting, hasn't he? Sorry, inside gates, I do apologise.
The inside gate, the draw for him, he gets gate 1 in his 4th and 5th programmed rides. And that may help him because the inside gate is already looking like its favourite. Everson had made a good start in this particular race and was in front when the lights came on for the stoppage. But I do think that Ty's been a touch fortunate there. You know, some referees may have looked at that as it was his decision to chop to the inside and he mistimed it.
So, Ty Woofenden fortunate in many ways, according to Calvin Tatum.
Possibly, yeah, absolutely. He could have, if he'd kept going, he may have then been squeezed, but he made that decision. But the referee has seen fit to put all 4 back. And in truth, I like to see 4 riders in a race.
It is what he does, though, isn't it, Kelvin? You know that he is a thinking type of rider, and once he misses the start, he does look at the other riders around him.
Yeah.
And he does try that inside line if he has to, doesn't he?
He does it on many occasions, and it often works very well. Some concern, just having a chat coming in off the track, but quite clearly when we saw the replays, the bike hadn't driven away from the tapes at all. He spun up quite badly and thought, right, crikey, I need to get to the inside immediately, but just moved a little bit too quickly.
So we'll see him out here again for the restart in a couple of moments' time for heat number 3. Alongside Everson and Janowski. No major surprise that Everson had made a good start there.
No, once again in the opening 2 races, the inside gate had been working a treat, and Everson had got a good getaway and was looking like he was going to stamp his authority on the race. Bit of work going on with the bike, of course, because it would have bounced down the track slightly awkwardly, and the boys will just make sure that the chains and everything's all okay. They won't want to change bikes at this very early stage. They've chosen that from the practice yesterday. And Woofenden has a great team. He has a lot of faith in his mechanics, Nigel, and they do make a lot of the calls on the setup for him. And that's slightly unusual, that. But there's no doubt that he has a great team around him.
Well, I'm quite sure that Phil Morris, the race director, will be putting the 2 minutes on very shortly. He was seen again.
Yeah, he just mistimes that. And
you could say it is Woofenden's fault.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I mentioned it, that he's a touch fortunate to be in the rerun, because he's looking to go to the inside. Janowski's done nothing wrong, and Ty just had to wait slightly longer to make that move. Here, the bike hasn't gone forward like he wanted to. He's immediately gone for the inside move and just mistimed that.
Some referees may have not put the red light on and let the race continue. Inevitably, of course, it would have had to have gone on because Ty was down. But anyway, doesn't matter now.
Riders are coming back up to
done is done. Yep.
And we've got a minute and so to go. Everson's up at tapes, very keen to get on with it. And we've got Kasper Zak on the outside, who managed to win a Grand Prix race in Cosgrove a couple of weeks ago, which we were delighted to see because he's had a torrid time this year.
It's amazing how you can't become a bad rider overnight. Kasper Zak is a fantastic speedway rider, Kel.
He is, and it's a real strange one this year. There's been no injury problem. It must be mental, and quite clearly has had a terrible problems to get his confidence this year right from the word go. So I'm sure he'll come back, and he's already mentioned that, you know, he's targeting 2017 to come back to the Grand Prix series. Janowski, we haven't spoken about him, Nige. We've got a bit of time, but Janowski in gate 2, he needs a big night. He needs to get into the top 8.
Certainly does. Mats Janowski. He is actually in 8th place at the moment. He is 6 points clear of Michael Jepsen Jensen. As things stand, 5 clear now because Jepsen Jensen scored a point in his opening ride. If you are new to Grand Prix Speedway, the top 8 in this year's series will qualify automatically for the 2016 FIM Speedway Grand Prix. We have 3 rounds to go, including this. We go to Torun in Poland, the magnificent Marianne Rose Arena next Saturday night in Torun in Poland. And then, later in October, the final round at the Etihad Stadium in Melbourne, Australia. This is heat number 3 then. Second time of asking. Jim Lawrence with his finger on the button, ready to go here now. Green lights on and the tape tries, and once again it's the inside two gates. It's Iversen and it's Janowski as well, and it's getting all very tight as Woffenden tries the inside line. Watch out for Kasperzak here. Kasperzak is going wide and really battling away with Niels Christian Iversen, and Kasperzak has got a lot of speed. He's going to try the outside run here, and Woffenden is in the back with Iversen ahead.
Yeah, Woffenden made that jump back to the inside, but it didn't work out. Janowski blocked his move. Kasperzak now has slipped back into third place with Iversen once again using the inside gate to his full advantage. Is out in front, dominating proceedings. The championship leader just not being able to get out of gate 3 at all. Makes the inside move, hasn't worked. He's now switched to the outside, still not amongst the points. Iversen out in front, looking strong, looking fast.
Yeah, Iversen riding beautifully. Janowski is second, Kasperzak is third. Woffenden is going to have one last blast around the outside at the back. Has he got enough? Doesn't look like it. It's a last place for Woffenden. Still got work to do to become world champion, because the man behind him, Greg Hancock, after the first ride of the night, has closed the gap by 3 points tonight. And remember, 3 rounds to go, 63 points to race for. Woffenden's lead is still 22, but still work to do to get over the line.
Yeah, it's never done till it's done, and getting over the line at times is quite difficult, but a disappointing start for Woffenden, but a super one from Iversen. The inside gate has been the one to be on in the opening races.
Certainly has, and a good effort from Kasperzak as well early on. A real battle there. Iversen, Janowski, Kasperzak and Woffenden is the finishing order in the Stockholm FIM Speedway Grand Prix heat number 3. Good ride, Niels Christian Iversen.
Yeah, absolutely, no surprise. He, second time of asking, he took full advantage from his gate position. We'll see it now. Drops the clutch and the bike drives nicely to the first corner. Just here, Janowski comes under a lot of pressure from Woffenden, who made that chop back. But the young Polish rider resisted that charge from the British rider up the inside there. He's just desperately trying to squeak into second place, but can't make it work. Janowski then slams the door shut. Kasperzak looks threatening here. A little bit more grip on the outside. He might have got himself to the front, but he keeps working the outside, and Janowski is then able to get back into second place. Iversen out in front. That's a lovely ride for him. The ideal start. Once again, the inside gate, even though they've worked the track on the outside, is an advantage.
Certainly is. Great ride, Niels Christian Iversen. He really is top rider. 57th Grand Prix appearance tonight. He's won half of the finals he's been in, like Peter Killerman.
Good record.
Niels has been in 8 finals and won 4 of them, and he likes the temporary tracks, as we alluded to a little bit earlier. But we're up to heat number 4 now. There's battle for medals on here. Zagar and Pedersen are together in this race, and those two are in contention for a bronze medal at least. Pedersen is third on 98. Matti Zagar is fourth on 89 in the World Championship right now. He's had his injury problems, suffered internal bleeding after a crash in Gorzów with Nicky Pedersen, Matti Zagar, but improving daily, the Slovenian star. Here we go. Heat 4, Troy Batchelor inside in red from Australia. Matti Zagar, gate 2 from Slovenia in blue. Nicky Pedersen, the legendary 3-times world champion, gate 3 in white, and Chris Holder of Australia going off the outside.
Yeah, Chris Holder has said that he's beginning to really refocus on the Grand Prix now. Of course, he was very upset with the incident to Darcy Ward, but now all of a sudden he knows there's a job to be done. Batchelor on the insides in the box seat. Zagar now becoming much fitter, looking for a big night. Pedersen searching for the silver, second place in the World Championship.
Well, Batchelor has made an absolute beauty there from gate number 1. He has done well on temporary tracks before. Had a beauty at Copenhagen a couple of years ago. And now Nicky Pedersen holding second place. Zagar is third, and Holder is at the back. And now Pedersen charging up the inside. And Troy Batchelor, who's going to be kept on his toes big time here. Pedersen second, Zagar third, Holder at the back. And they do get very close going into the turn.
They do indeed, with Zagar running in the middle of the track. Now Holder coming up the inside, and the Slovenian gets that third place. A real battle just for a solitary point. Pedersen looks up, gets awfully close there. Holder's done nicely to get into third. The inside gate working a treat once again. Batchelor's got this race, but for second, third and fourth with a lap to go, it's anybody's.
Yep, and Holder and Zagar having a real ding-dong for third place just for a point. And Holder looks as though he's got plenty of speed on Nicky Pedersen, but if you clamp the inside, it works. Batchelor from Australia, great ride. 3 big points for Troy Batchelor. Nicky Pedersen finished second there, and Chris Holder worked hard to get the better of Matti Zagar in heat number 4. It's close It's very, very tense.
Yeah.
And Bachelor from gate one looking superb there.
Flew away from the tapes, and that's a confidence-boosting ride for the Australian, who's had a disappointing season in the Grand Prix. But this, with the inside gate, he took full advantage and had plenty of pace.
Bachelor, Pedersen, Holder and Zagar. Winners so far in the opening 4 heats. Hancock, Jonsson, Bachelor and Iversen.
Yeah, lovely ride for Troy Bachelor there, and he'll be pleased with that. The likelihood of him making the top 8 is remote, but still, nonetheless, that's a good ride at this level. You see there, he was very keen to get, he got a great run to the first corner there, possibly was moving a fraction. Pedersen into second place, is battling really hard, and Zagar there in third, and it was a real tussle for second, third and fourth throughout the 4 laps. Nicky Pedersen, who's been getting plenty of work done on his engines in recent weeks, is looking reasonably competitive here, but has to ride a defensive line because so much pressure coming on from Zagar initially, and then Holder, who rides a very good ride here to get the better of the Slovenian, and then late on in the race puts the 3-time world champion Pedersen under a lot of pressure as they come to the checkered flag. But Troy Bachelor, he'll be chuffed with this. It's been tough Grand Prix for him this year, but he wins his opening ride very nicely.
Yep, good ride indeed from Troy Bachelor. He, as Kelvin said, has struggled. Only ever reached 2 Grand Prix finals in his career, but he'll certainly be feeling a lot happier about things after that. The inside gate certainly working a treat. And we've got Holder off the inside in the next gate. Well, Greg Hancock must be pretty happy with life right now. He is with Chris Louis.
Greg Hancock, you said you weren't going to throw the towel in. 25 points is a lot to make up for the perfect start tonight.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's always good to get off to a good start, as you know, and you know, kind of set the pace and keep it rolling instead of trying to play catch-up.
Stockholm has been a happy hunting ground for you in the past. You've made both the finals, so you do tend to enjoy this track.
Yeah, I like it. You know, I mean, it's you know, everybody knows it's kind of a home away from home for me too, and you know, good fans, good people, and I want to perform. I want to win, man.
I know you don't like statistics, but you've won in 10 different countries. Ironically, not here in Sweden. You'd love to do that, wouldn't you?
Without a doubt, you know, this is one that's kind of been one of those moments that's been hanging on my head for so long, and of course I want to win every year, and I always try to play it down, but I'm not going to play it down this time. I want to win.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Yeah, and on parade as well, Kelvin, he is hugely popular. The cheers and noise for Greg Hancock when he was introduced to the crowd, it was louder than some of the Swedes here tonight.
Yeah, he's an adopted Swede, isn't he? He has a home here, has lived here for more than 10 years and loves it here, speaks Swedish, has really made an effort to integrate into Swedish society. And as I say, he is a crowd favourite and would dearly love to win. He's always played it down, and now he's taking a different tack. He is saying, I want to win, and who knows, he could win back-to-back Grand Prix. And the way it started tonight, with Woffinden failing to score in his opening ride and Greg winning, immediately there's a touch of extra pressure on Woffinden to keep the pressure on. But no, it would be fitting if Greg Hancock could win in Sweden.
Certainly would. Crowd here, slightly up on last year, we're told. Let's get some more pitch reaction now with Chris Louis.
Troy, a confidence-boosting first ride, a fantastic start from Gate 1. How's the track conditions out there for you?
Yeah, obviously Gate 1, that's the one to have at the moment, but felt like a good start and just got out in front and rode my race. Felt good, positive.
It's been a pretty tough Grand Prix year for you. You had 1 or 2 good rounds, but how have you found it? I mean, where's your focus now for the rest of the season down in 11th place?
My focus is on winning and having fun. So at the moment, first race went to plan and just keep it going.
Good luck for the rest of the night.
Thank you.
Yeah, it has been tough for Bachelor, hasn't it?
It has, and it's difficult to understand why, because we've seen him perform so well at times, World Cup and Grand Prix. It's just slightly confusing. I'm sure it confuses him at times why he can't quite produce it at this level, but it hasn't been his year. And it's looking like he's going to slip out of the GP series, but who knows, he could well battle back. We just saw briefly Niels Christian Iversen there. He had a super opening ride and we'll be looking to build on that, but it will be very interesting for me personally how the gate stats work out this evening, because the first 4 races, all 4 riders made the first turn from the inside. Harris just with the slip up in Heat 1, allowing Hancock through, but effectively the first 4 races should have been won from the inside gate.
Well, it was a common theme in Cardiff and in Horsens, so we'll see how it pans out for the rest of the evening, but it's pretty convincing statistically.
Yeah, well, that tells you everything after 4 races, doesn't it? So it will follow that. They had, as I say, they did rip up the outside of the track, but so far it hasn't really benefited the riders. Track conditions will change, of course, and we may well see later on the outside gates working a little better. A decent crowd in, and as I say, it's about half full, I would say, and it's a super atmosphere, and it's a super stadium, I must say. It's a state-of-the-art, it's a fabulous stadium and a fabulous arena.
Yep, couldn't agree more. And Woofenden has got gate 4 here in the heat number 5. Chris Holder is off the inside. He will fancy his chances, and we say good morning to all our Australian fans, as we always do in the GP.
Yeah.
I bet you're looking forward to Melbourne in October as well. I'm sure you're going to have a great time there. So special good morning to all our Australian viewers. Here we see the World Championship standings. Woofenden still 22 ahead of Hancock, still in a great position.
Yes.
Pedersen on 100, Zagar on 89. So Nicky Pedersen looking strong for a bronze medal once again. That's his target, that's what he's focused on, well, Nicky Pedersen.
I think he'll be pushing for a silver medal, Nige, in truth. I think at the very least he'll want a bronze. He did say that if he can get his kit sorted out, he'll be pushing Hancock as hard as he can to pick up second place in the championship. Of course, he got that 3rd place last year with that sudden death runoff in Torren, didn't he, against Woofenden? And fair play to him, he came through on that particular occasion. But for a long period of time, it was looking like he was going to push Woofenden all the way. But to Woofenden's credit, the speed and the absolute sheer brilliance of Woofenden at times has just, he's been able to stretch the lead. And 1 or 2, particularly in Horsens, I sense that Pedersen's charge for the top spot just took a little bit of a hiccup.
And then that crash in Gorzhov, of course, with Zagar.
Yeah,
it was a nasty one.
It
Real
was
nasty one.
Tough call.
Yeah.
Holder this time in the box seat, you would suggest, with the inside gate. Woofenden just leisurely just waiting for his second ride. Unbelievably relaxed Ty Woofenden in the pits. It is remarkable how cool, calm and collected he remains. I'm sure that does help him. He's able to generate and ride at his full potential, not racked with nerves and tension in his body. We so often see him produce some wonderful stuff, particularly in Cosgrove a couple of weeks ago nights. 2 of his rides were extra special, weren't they?
Yep, very much so. We do see some moments of magic in the Speedway Grand Prix, that's for sure. Looking forward to 2016 as well, with the new additions to the series. Of course, the picks, the wild cards, if you like, 4 of which have to be named. No doubt in the not too distant future, I would think probably in November, there or thereabouts, they will generally get announced. It's a tough pick as well. It all depends on the final standings after Melbourne in October.
Absolutely, it's never, I don't envy the authorities this time. It's not going to be easy at all, but we all wait with bated breath for those 4 permanent picks.
Here we go with heat number 5 then. Chris Holder going off the inside, the 2012 world champion. Gate number 2 in blue is Chris Harris of Great Britain. Andreas Jonsson, gate 3 in white from Sweden. And Ty Woofenden, series leader, didn't score in his opening ride. He'll be desperate to get on the scoreboard, although he's from the very tricky outside gate here. Yeah,
well, his draw actually starts there, and it's not ideal, but the inside gates in his 4th and 5th ride may just actually save him this evening if he does struggle. He's only had 1 poor ride. We can't write him off just yet.
It's a bit harsh.
It is a bit harsh, and I'm sure he could produce something very special here. Holder's the one that must feel confident with the inside gate, and he had speed in his opening ride, and his bike looked very quick. Harris will be a touch frustrated with his opening ride. Shouldn't have let that slip, really. Should have hugged the inside and not allowed Greg Hancock through. And Jonsson, of course, he won in fine style. So a really good race here in Prospect.
Here we go, heat number 5 here in Stockholm. Take tries, good start from Chris Holder off the inside gate. Woofenden is going to try the outside run here. Not easy though, and Jonsson holds second, and Woofenden is at the back. The lead is with Chris Holder. Chris Harris is second. Jonsson coming around the outside. Ty Woofenden has just gone from last to second. Oh, he's got the inside run, Woofenden, and it's worked to Treaty Cork. Harris and Jonsson by surprise. Maybe Harris and Jonsson were too worried about each other. The lead is with Holder, and Woffington is second now.
What a move from the World Championship leader. Came steaming up the inside of Harris and Jonsson. Brilliant stuff from him. Woffington is all over Holder in second place. Now he runs for the middle of the track. Holder around the inside still working. Harris back in third. Jonsson disappointing, is out the back. But Holder's a clever rider. He's hugging the inside. Should pick up the win.
Yeah, it looks as though Holder has done enough here, but my goodness, Woffington, where did he come from to get that second spot? Big ride from Ty Woffington. He'll feel a lot happier now as well that he's got 2 points on the board. But Chris Holder of Australia makes gate 1 count superbly. Woffington last to first with a brave move, cutting up the inside. And Jonsson at the back after that battle with Chris Harris of Great Britain. Plenty of drama early on here then in Stockholm. Chris Holder, the race winner. Ty Woffington was second. Third was Chris Harris, and Andreas Jonsson at the back on that occasion. And it means now that Holder moves on to 4 and Ty Woffington 2 precious points.
Yeah.
From 2 rides now.
Yeah, that was an important move there from Ty Woffington. Was out the back, but made that dynamic move in turns 3 and 4 to steam up the inside of Andreas Jonsson and Chris Harris. Initially, it's Holder right round the inside. Jonsson lifting twice. Woffington makes the decision, and this time he times it to perfection. Earlier on in his first ride, he mistimed it, found himself on the deck. This time, what a move to get himself into second place. Right over the inside with the front wheel, perfectly legal. Then just basically blocked past Chris Harris to slam himself into second place. Holder out in front, came under pressure from Woffington, but it's a super ride from him. 4 points to his name from 2 outings. A steady start for the 2012 World Champion.
Number 43, Darcy Ward on his drinks bottle there. Darcy still very much in all our thoughts, of course. Woffington with another 2 Grand Prix points. Look how relaxed he looks. He really does.
Loving it.
He is
He's
indeed.
loving it, and I think that's, you know, helping him as well, because he's so relaxed on the bike and clear thinking. That move down the back straight to cut to the inside Nige was a split-second decision at the absolute perfect moment. Just didn't quite time it right the first time he tried to do it in his opening ride.
And he's against Greg Hancock in his next ride.
Oh, Heat 11 is a real...
11, Kilderman, Woffington, Hancock, Zagar, goodness me.
Superstar race, yeah.
Absolutely. Heat 6 is coming up now. Zagar, Iversen, Jepsen, Jensen, and Jonassen is the way it goes right now. Matti Zagar off the inside, who hasn't been riding much because of the injury, the internal bleeding that was caused by the crash in Gorzov. Rode in Krusko in Slovenia, rode in Checo last weekend, the Czech Golden Helmet in Pardubice, but didn't ride for Bellevue in the playoffs. We are told he will be back for the Aces on Monday when Bellevue ride pool in Manchester on Monday night, and then a pool on Wednesday, the Elite League in England, to be decided over the course of those 2 nights. And we are told Zagar is likely to be back for Bellevue. So heat number 6 is coming up. Zagar not interested in the playoffs at the moment. It's all about the Grand Prix here and now of gate number 1. What can he do? Can he make it count, the Slovenian? Iversen, beauty from gate number 2. That was a superb start. And now around the outside is Jepsen Jensen, who's going to put all sorts of pressure on Niels Christian Iversen, who really is going to be tested to the living now. Iversen, though, rides a lovely line and holds the lead. Jepsen Jensen tries the inside run. Zagar is there. That's to get off the gas there. And Jonassen is in the back.
Yeah, that was awfully close with Zagar nearly running in the back of Jepsen Jensen. What a start from Iversen. Out of gate 2, the bike leapt away from the tape. Jepsen Jensen out of shape, all over the place, goes to the back. That allows Zagar in the second place. But Iversen, he's starting in fine style tonight. Looking like he's going to move on to 6 points. Zagar inheriting second place. There's a rut on the inside first corner, Nige.
Yep, there is indeed, and Niels Christian Iversen has carved up the opposition here beautifully. What a ride from Niels Christian Iversen, moves him on to a maximum of 6 points now. That was a wonderful start from him.
Absolutely.
Don't know where he found that from, but goodness me, it was spectacular.
Bottom of the toolbox, he was lurking there, and he used it to full effect because he leapt away from the tapes. Bike really did charge to the first corner. Such a terrific feeling when the bike works like that, particularly at this level. Iversen was supreme there. 6 points out of 6. Zagar second, Jonassen third, Michael Jepsen Jensen at the back after getting into trouble there. Iversen is a maximum man here after 2 heats.
for the Grand Prix campaign for Niels Christian Iversen, and he, by the way, is 5th in the World Championship, closing the gap on Zagar, who's in 4th.
Yeah, an important win there for Iversen, and a great start to tonight. A winner here 2 years ago, looking like a winner here now in 2015. Zagar frustrated, has been out of sorts with that nasty internal bleeding in his groin area in the last couple of weeks. But look at this, Iversen's bike on the back wheel, driving like a train to the first corner and dominates the race from there. Jepsen Jensen slips around the outside, putting pressure on very early, and the Danes were really dominant on the first lap in this particular heat. But unfortunately for Jepsen Jensen, he gets caught out by the rut in the first and second corner. There we see it, he straightens up momentarily, just misses the air fence and relegates himself to the back. But Iversen, what a start to tonight. He'll be pumped back in the pits now.
Yeah, brilliant ride from Niels. Smashing guy as well, one of the nice guys of Speedway, no doubt, Niels Christian Iversen.
Terrific guy, yeah.
Yep, very much so, as we build up to heat number 7, Janowski. Another rider involved in the English playoffs, the British Speedway playoffs on Monday for the Pool Pirates, Maciej Janowski. And here we see Greg Hancock, the man in form right now, winner of his opening ride, winner of the previous Grand Prix in Slovenia, 20 points in Krsko, 17 in Gorzów. There's no doubt, though, there's 7 points in Horsens, and early on in the series has cost him. Here we go with the lineup: Janowski, Batchelor, Lindback, and Greg Hancock. Hancock, who scored 9 in Finland, then he got 9 in Melilla and only 7 in Horsens, so it was those two back-to-back, Melilla and Horsens, you could say, which hurt Hancock's world title chances, but he's not out of it, not quite yet.
No, he's turned his form around. I think there's been some changes to the equipment, and quite clearly he's found something that's working very well for him, and the confidence has come flowing back. But Horsens was a disappointment, but subsequently Gorzów and Krsko have been outstanding. Can he do it from the outside here?
Well, heat number 7, outside is a test. We've seen that already. You have to really make a jet-propelled start. He has done, but he's squeezed out. Here comes Janowski now. Hancock's got the speed round the outside! Wonderful move from Greg Herbie Hancock. He has got around the opposition superbly, and look at the speed and the momentum as he goes into lap 2 with a comfortable advantage. Janowski second and Lindback third.
Absolutely, you can see the confidence of the world champion now beginning to really be put on full display. Fabulous first corner and got the speed and fired himself to the front down the back straight, with Janowski covering the inside. Batchelor a winner first time out. He's out the back this time. It is so difficult to be consistent at this level, but the man out in front, he's found the key to it. He's winning races for fun, moving away out in front, looking like he's going to move nicely onto 6 points.
Lindback having a real go for second spot here, but Greg Hancock, 6 points out of 6. Brilliant stuff from the man who's based on the outskirts of Stockholm for part of the year, and of course California during the winter as well.
That's hard.
He's got that to look forward to after Australia, the Californian sunshine.
Somebody's got to do it.
Tough life, isn't it? Brilliant. Greg Hancock then with a superb ride from the outside gate, and once he got past in the early stages, he just, well, he pulled well clear. He's so super quick.
Yeah.
Greg Hancock, Maciej Janowski second, Antonio Lindback third, and Troy Batchelor on that occasion at the back. Hancock now joins Iversen at the top of the leaderboard on 6 points.
Yeah, magic ride from Hancock, and you've got to say that he was textbook away from the tapes, and then the way he carried the speed through the first corner to get the better of the opposition. We will now witness it once again. Bike digs in. It's Janowski on the inside, covering it there, and he can't be in 2 places at the same time. He had to block the move from Lindback. If he'd moved off the inside to block Hancock, then Lindback probably would have been able to get up the inside and actually get himself to the front. But what a move it is, and the bike is just working a treat right now. The last 3 Grand Prix really is winning races for fun, and Hancock really is throwing down the gauntlet to Ty Woofenden. You know, he's got nothing to lose, everything to gain, and he's really desperately trying to work his way into the championship chase.
21 points behind Woofenden now, which is 1 Grand Prix effectively.
It's still
21 points is 1 Grand Prix.
Yeah.
A maximum score in a Grand Prix is 21, and that's what Hancock trails Woofenden by. And they start alongside each other in heat 11. Woofenden off 2, Hancock off 3. Here, heat number 8. This is quite a lineup as well. Doyle, going from the inside. Here we've seen Nicky Pedersen going from the outside gate. We've seen Hancock do it the hard way with a fantastic start in the previous ride. Can Pedersen replicate that?
Well, he would have witnessed it, won't he? And he'll be trying, if he can, that big sweep around the outside in the first corner.
Jason Doyle off 1. Peter Killerman goes off gate number 2 in blue. Christoph Kasperzak gate 3 in white. And Nicky Pedersen going off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. Big race coming up. After this race, every rider in this Grand Prix will have completed 2 rides.
Interesting times. Certainly Jason Doyle has ridden nicely in the Grand Prix this year. Got a good chance from the inside. Kilderman has been brilliant. What a record he has. He's won a Grand Prix this year and he's making finals for fun on a regular basis. And Kasperzak, well, we've spoken about him, it's been disappointing. But Pedersen, with Hancock riding so well, pressure on Pedersen if he wants a silver medal this year.
Certainly is. Here we go with heat number 8. And it's a good start from Peter Killerman. Off gate number 2, but Doyle's going to try and squeeze it wide. Oh, how they stayed on the bike. Nicky Pedersen charges up the inside now of Christoph Kasperzak. But the man in blue has the lead here. That is Peter Killerman of Denmark. And Nicky Pedersen chasing hard after Jason Doyle. Goes up the inside of him. Doyle has to charge back up the inside there. Pedersen third. Kasperzak at the back. And now Kasperzak is challenging Pedersen as well.
Well, you can throw a blanket over second and third, that's for sure. Out in front, Kilderman takes advantage of the mistake from Doyle early on. It's a rut in the first corner and it's causing riders just a little bit of concern. Kilderman riding great. Pedersen under pressure from Kasperzak in third. But Peter Kilderman, what a Grand Prix campaign he's having. He is cleared off out in front.
It's not too late for a top 8 spot for Killerman, is it?
No, it's
Maybe
not.
Maybe it's not. Wonderful ride. 5 points out of 6 for the Dane. Peter Killerman is a superb winner of heat number 8. 5 points out of 6, as we say. A real battle as well. Jason Doyle holding out for second spot. Nicky Pedersen had to settle a third.
Yeah.
And Christoph Kasperzak at the back. Bit of a rut there. The inside of turn number 2 is starting to cause 1 or 2 problems for the riders. Killerman, Doyle, Pedersen and Kasperzak is a finishing order of heat number 8. Top of the leaderboard right now, Hancock and Iversen are maximum men on 6 and Killerman is on 5.
Well, that was a super ride from Kilderman. It was a bit harem, scarum in the first corner, and we'll witness it once again here. Doyle on the inside, gets there alongside Kilderman, just straightens up momentarily. There's a little rut down there, and it's proving to be slightly awkward for riders. Kilderman then has a textbook run out in front, wins very comfortably in the end, but just there, just grabs a little bit of extra grip and he's a bit untidy. Pedersen gets it later on in actual fact and gets the better of Doyle. There you see it, he uses it, but he can't then cover the move, and Doyle responds and repays the compliment and steams up the inside and takes the second place away from the 3-time world champion. You can see there, actually, Pedersen quite cleverly did use it, but just runs a touch wide, and that allows Doyle to steam back up the inside. But this man, he is enjoying himself in Grand Prix without doubt. 5 points out of 6, starts very strongly here this evening, and who knows, another final could be on the cards for him.
Yeah, it could well be. 5 out of 6 is tremendous from Peter Killerman, and just when you look at the top 8, the context of that, just building up towards this meeting, Killerman was in 10th place on 59 points, and this is his 7th Grand Prix of the year, so you can put 5 points onto that now. Killerman's on 64 points, so he is not out of it. The battle for the top 8. Niels Christian Iversen riding beautifully tonight. He's with our man Chris Louis.
Niels, a perfect start to your Stockholm Grand Prix, 6 points.
Yeah, so far so good, as you say. But I had to gate 1 and 2 now, and I start to move out a little bit on the gate position. So it might be a little bit more difficult to make these gates, but everything feels good so far. You know, the bike feels fast, and I feel good on the track. So yeah, let's keep rolling.
It looks a difficult track to know exactly where to ride. You were going out to the dirt, but you're also covering the inside coming off the corners.
Yeah. I think the first lap or so, I could feel they were pretty close. So I wouldn't open up too much on the inside, but as the heat went on, you know, I started to ride a little bit wider, and it seems like the lines are moving a little bit out now because the dirt moves out, and you got to make it work out in the dirt now.
If you can keep it going tonight, a big performance, big points would take the pressure off as far as the top 8 is concerned for the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, as you say, it is tight in the top. You know, there's not a great deal of points down to
to moving out from top 8. So yeah, a big performance tonight and a good result tonight could ease things up a little bit. But I'm going to take every round as it comes now. You know, I want to go into every meeting, try my best, hopefully make the final and get some trophies back home.
Thanks, Niels.
Yeah, well, he knows what it takes to win Grand Prix. He's won in Cardiff this year and sort of stole it away from the opposition that night, crept into the final and did a great job. And Niels Christian Iversen has started very well here this evening.
And let's hear now from Chris Holder, who's with Chris Louis.
Chris, you said you wanted to find your focus again. A race winner last time out. Look like you're having fun.
Yeah, sort of. No, it was all right. The first race was a tough heat off 4 and just wanted to get a point, try not to run a last, and I managed to get into 3rd, so that was good. And then didn't change anything for the next one, just had the better gate and made a good start and could hear the boys behind me, but I knew if I just kept on that inside, I'd be sweet.
At the moment, the inside gate position's a definite advantage. How do you see the track developing?
I think the turn 1's already getting a bit of a hole in it, so that's going to be interesting. But you know, even the ruts at the start are getting pretty deep. That last race, I was in heat 5 and I couldn't go in the ruts already. I was bottoming out, so I had to go off the fresh stuff. But it works all right, so it's going to be pretty crucial to make a good start.
Good luck for the rest of the night. Thanks.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, good stuff from Chris Holder, and they're doing extensive track preparation now, and some of the material on the outside is being pounded down. So I think it will. Each 4 heats, each block of 4 races, I think that you'll find probably by heat 12, when Iversen actually goes out again, the material on the outside and the outside run could be working. A little bit frustrating sometimes when they keep moving the material back, because effectively you make the track half as wide as it could be, and some of the moves on the outside are negated somewhat. They're just rolling the material back in there with the water bowser doing some laps. Iversen looking strong, Hancock looking strong. Good stuff from Chris Holder as well. Ty Whiffenden, I would say, would be slightly disappointed with his start tonight, with only 2 points from 2 rides, but there's still 3 opportunities for him to force his way into the top 8 and the semi-finals.
Yeah, very much so. And it really has been an eventful Grand Prix so far, although, of course, huge advantage for that inside gate, but Greg Hancock ignored that. He did it the hard way.
He was the first one to win from the outside, wasn't he, the outside gate? Well, in actual fact, he won from gates 3 and 4, and he had those in his opening 2 rides, so he was able to sort of buck the trend somewhat there, and he's got supreme confidence and speed in his equipment at the moment, and it's proving to be very successful. Thomas H. Jonassen, Pedersen, Harris and Janowski coming up in heat 9, and Thomas H. Jonassen has the inside gate, and he'll be keen as a Swede in his home country to at least win a heat here this evening and give something back to the crowd for them to be excited about, because apart from winning the World Cup this year, the Swedes have had a tough time. Difficult to understand because their riders have got plenty of quality, but they haven't quite managed to put it together at Grand Prix level. So the Swedes, I'm sure, will be desperate for one of their men to try and get to the latter stages.
So heat number 9 is coming up here. Here we see Nicky Pedersen. He's got gate 2 in the blue helmet. Has got 3 points to his name so far. So still work to do if Nicky is going to make it through to the semi-finals tonight. But an eventful year for Nicky. Been in the headlines, been under the spotlight for varying reasons, as he generally is. But
normal year, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Still a world-class rider, no doubt. And looking for a big performance here. The man off the inside gate is Thomas H. Jonassen. How he would dearly love a race win under his belt in his own country tonight.
He would, and we'll make him feel very proud. I'm sure he's got plenty of guests, sponsors, family here this evening, so an opportunity to win in front of a home audience is always something very satisfying. And he's got the inside gate, track freshly prepared. Must be a good chance for him to get amongst the points this time.
Heat number 9 coming up then. Thomas H. Jonassen going off the inside in red. Nicky Pedersen goes off gate 2 in blue. He's seen his rival for the silver medal pull clear tonight, Greg Hancock. Gate 3 in white is Chris Harris of Great Britain and Matsei Janowski. Now Janowski in the top 8 just about tonight.
Yeah.
But let me tell you now, Peter Killerman is 10 points off the top 8. Janowski knows that with Jarek Hampel fit for the start of next year and needing a pick, Janowski doesn't really want to be in a position where he needs a pick as well.
No, well, we spoke about that, and I don't envy the organisers who they do pick, because it will be awfully hard on Hampel if he misses out through no fault of his own. A nasty incident in June, of course, in the World Cup, and he hasn't been able to take his place in the lineup. So, yeah, Janowski with 2 qualifiers through the challenge of Rybnik a few weeks back. And Janowski could actually put pay to Hampel's chances of being a Grand Prix rider next year. Let's see how it goes here from the outside.
Yep, heat number 9 it is. Jonassen's made a good one, but Janowski from the outside gate, an absolute beauty. Jonassen gets some drive there, and now Nicky Pedersen charges through into second place. Third is Chris Harris. Jonassen is going to try the outside run now to try and come around Chris Harris. He's got him. The lead is with Janowski, though. What about that for a start from Maciej Janowski of Poland?
Absolutely fabulous start from the outside from the Polish rider. Chris Louis was telling me yesterday in practice he looked awfully quick, and he looks very accomplished out in front here, and so it's proving. Speed out in front. Harris coming up the inside of Pedersen. Pedersen slams the door shut. Thomas H. Jonassen, who was momentarily in third place, rode too wide and allowed the British man through to third place. But Janowski, super ride.
Well, this is so quick from Maciej Janowski. From start to finish, he's got the race in the bag. What a ride from Maciej Janowski of Poland. Second place in blue, Nicky Pedersen of Denmark, and Chris Harris of Great Britain in third there. But gate 4, goodness me, worked a treat.
Fantastic.
And the man from the inside gate finishes last in Jonassen. You wouldn't have thought that, would you?
No, and Thomas H. Jonassen clearly lacking confidence at this level. He just rode in the wrong place. A couple of poor decisions, and he found himself relegated to the back. Janowski out in front was very impressive, and he had a lot of speed. He'll be building on that.
Yeah, big ride from Maciej Janowski, because he puts him on a 7 points now. That's a huge boost for him. Nicky Pedersen's on a 5 now with his couple of points there. Harris is on 4 from 3 with a chance of the semi-finals. Of course, you have to get in the top 8 on the night to reach the 2 semi-finals here. But Maciej Janowski from gate number 4,
wow.
Well, he was jet propelled.
Yeah, you watch it now, and such a super feeling for a rider when you drop the clutch and then you rely on the bike then to drive to the first corner, and it does it brilliantly. Thomas H. Jonassen gets it wrong in that first corner. That rut is still there, and it does catch the Swedish boy out. Watch it again. We see Janowski coming across, and now Thomas H. Jonassen there just momentarily getting that extra little bit of drive from that rut, and it pushes him wide, and that allows Pedersen and Harris to come through. He responds, but now he chooses to go to the outside. This man out in front, though, Janowski, moving on to 7 points. 7 points from 3 rides. A strong start to tonight. Exactly what he needed.
Yep, very much so. Maciej Janowski with a huge boost for his form here tonight. Moves him on to 79 points.
Good stuff.
And, yeah, very much so. And Jason Doyle is on 79 with a race in hand. So Janowski has already levelled with Jason Doyle, who was 7th in the World Championship tonight. So he's levelled that. But Doyle does have a race in hand. This is heat number 10. Reminder, coming next in heat 11, you have the top 2 in the World Championship alongside each other on the starting grid. That's 11. This is 10 for now. Here we see across the grid, this man in blue is Andreas Jonsson, one of the home favourites here. Has had a tough year on the Grand Prix circuit. It's Christoph Kasperzak off the inside in red. Andreas Jonsson, gate 2 in blue from Sweden. Troy Batchelor, gate 3 white from Australia. And Michael Jepsen Jensen. He needs a big score here tonight as well to keep alive his hopes of a top 8.
Yeah, he was disappointing 2 weeks ago in Kuskro because he needed a good meeting there and failed so. The 2 boys in gates 2 and 3, Batchelor and Jonsson, have got exactly the same scoreline after 2 rides, a win and a 0 to their names, so they'll be looking to sort of just settle down a bit and keep the consistency going on. But Jepsen Jensen, if he wants to get in the top 8, he's got to get amongst the points now.
Yep. Here we go, heat number 10, and it's a good start from Kasperzak off the inside gate. Now Batchelor's going to try the inside run. It's Jonsson around the outside in blue. Jepsen Jensen third. Jonsson now is going to go high into the dirt to try and get some drive, and chops back up the inside, trying to get the better of Kasperzak here. Jonsson in blue takes Kasperzak wide. Wonderful move from Andreas Jonsson of Sweden.
Brilliant stuff from AJ. Didn't quite get there because Kasperzak makes a good start. He's a little bit out of shape there, but he hangs on out in front. Jepsen Jensen once again not amongst the big points, is working hard. Can he do something about Kasperzak in second place? Batchelor, unfortunately for him, he's tailed off out the back. A lap to go. AJ the Swede delights the home crowd. Can he hang on for a second win on the night?
World Cup winner with Sweden in June, and now is on the verge of 6 points from 3 rides here in the the Stockholm Grand Prix. Andreas Jonsson takes it from Kasperzak, from Jensen, and listen to the crowd. They are delighted with that here. Andreas Jonsson with 146 GP appearances under his name, 25 finals he's qualified for, and in the current Grand Prix troupe, if you like, he's the third most successful in getting to finals, the third in the ranking list. Hancock 79, Pedersen 61, then AJ on 25 Grand Prix final appearances, so the third most experienced in getting through to the final. Kasperzak second, Jensen was third. Good effort as well, because Jonsson didn't make the start, had to come from the back.
Yeah.
Moves him on to 6 points.
Yeah, good ride from Andreas Jonsson. Disappointing last time, but bounces back with a super ride. Of course, last year in Voyance, he really saved his Grand Prix career with a win that night, and he had tears in his eyes as he stood on the rostrum. Will we see tears in his eyes again tonight if he stands on top of the box in front of his home crowd? I would suggest there would be. He's fighting for his life, battling hard here in the opening lap, around the outside, down the back straight. Kasperzak hanging on out in front. Now he jumps back to the inside, and as they complete the first lap, Jonsson fires himself up the inside of the Polish boy, the world #2, gets himself to the front. Great response after a disappointing ride last time. 6 points out of 9. It's a decent start.
Very much so. Good stuff. And now we have the big Heat 11 coming up.
Looking forward to it.
Yep, the two riders at the top of the leaderboard in the World Championship. Woffington is the leader. Greg Hancock second. Here's a reminder for you of where we're at in the title race between Ty and Greg. 129 Woffington, 108 Hancock. Pedersen 5 behind Hancock on 103. And the man off the outside, Matti Zagar, isn't out of the race for a rostrum spot this year yet either. He's off the outside in yellow. Heat number 11, which way is this going to go?
Well, yeah, a tough one to call. I would say quite clearly on the evidence of the first 2 rounds of heats, then Hancock is favourite. But he's coming off gate 3, never easy from there. And Woffington, well, he generally comes up with something pretty special.
Killerman, Woffington, Hancock, Zagar. That's your lineup for heat number 11. Killerman will take some stopping off the inside gate.
Yeah.
Not easy for Woffington, sandwiched between Killerman and Hancock. And then you've got Zagar, who could try the outside run. As we saw Janowski in heat 9, rode beautifully. Just shows if you can make the start from the outside gate, it can work.
Yeah, if you get close enough and you got that little bit of extra room with it, get the back tire on the edge of the dirt through that first turn, you generate lots of speed. Super looking heat 11. Can Hancock remain unbeaten tonight?
What a race this promises to be. Here we go, and Killerman has made an absolute beauty. Peter Killerman has got the lead, and now Woffington up the inside. Ty Woffington battling with Peter Killerman. Greg Hancock is third. Matti Zagar's at the back, and Killerman has got speed now to charge up the inside of Woffington.
Brilliant stuff from Ty Woffington in the first corner. Gets the better of Kilderman. Certainly the championship leader responding with a super ride. Hancock just didn't quite get there. He's up the inside, but Kilderman right round the outside with Zagar out the back. But Woffington, just when you think there's a little bit of vulnerability, he comes up with a storming ride like this. Kilderman and Hancock going hammer and tongs for second and third.
And Greg Hancock is piling the pressure on Peter Killerman in second place right now.
Yeah.
Ty Woffington has that lead. Peter Killerman of Denmark is second. Third is Greg Hancock. Matti Zagar at the back. But this is a huge win for Ty Woffington in the world title race. He's just opened up 2 more points on Greg Hancock there in the World Championship race. Gate 3 was always tough for Greg, but Woffington, Kelvin, you have to take your hat off to him there, because it looked as though Killerman had made the better start,
well,
and Woffington timed his move to perfection.
He did time it right. He got it wrong earlier on, but the last 2 times when he's made that cut back to the inside, it's worked a treat. Kilderman flew away from the tapes, but Woffington was irresistible and charged to the front.
Woffington, Killerman, Hancock, Zagar is the finishing order there of heat number 11. Super ride from Ty Woffington.
Yeah.
Killerman now on 7. Woffington up in the top 8 on 5 points. Hancock's on 7 right now as well. It means the only maximum man on the night is Niels Christian Iversen. He's up next. Let's watch this and enjoy it again.
Well, you can see them at the start from Kilderman. It's terrific, but he leaves that little bit of racing room, and you don't have to invite Ty Woffington twice, do you? He says, thank you very much. I thought for a moment Kilderman was then going to sweep to the inside, and as they completed needed the first lap. It got awfully tight. Kilderman then hanging on for second place with the world champion in third. Pushing hard, was unbeaten coming into this race. But Ty Woofenden responds when the pressure was on, comes up with the ride when he really needs it. If he isn't world champion this year, it will be really a travesty. This man produces when he really needs to.
Well, rounds are running out for his rivals. After tonight, we only have 2 rounds to go. Torren next Saturday. If you can join us for that, same time next Saturday night from Torren. Really looking forward to that. That's the final European round of the year in the Grand Prix World Championship before heading down under to Melbourne and Australia for the final round in October.
But doesn't it typify Woofenden? Toughest race on paper so far he's had, and he produces something very special indeed. That's the character of the man. That's the confidence he has to be able to dominate this championship.
You could say the form of a world champion. Chris Holder.
Absolutely.
Inside in red here. Jason Doyle goes off gate 2 in blue. Gate number 3 is Niels Christian Iversen, unbeaten so far. And Antonio Limbach going off the outside. Now, Doyle has seen Janowski win his last ride.
Yeah.
Doyle will no doubt note Peter Killerman's emergence and form as he closes the gap on the top 8 and closes down and gives himself a chance with 2 rounds to go.
Yeah, Kilderman pushing hard for a top 8. No doubt about that. Can never relax at this level. You never really are in a comfort zone. You've always got something to strive for. Somebody pushing you as well. Doyle coming out of gate 2. Iversen, can he now remain unbeaten? He's coming out of gate 3 this time.
This is heat number 12. After this race, every rider will have completed 3 outings. Doyle has made a dream start from gate number 2. How did he manage that? And now Limbach's trying the outside, around the outside of Chris Holder, and Niels Christian Iversen coming through now, challenging hard. Doyle with the lead. Iversen battling with Limbach for second spot. It's tough. It's hard speedway, and Chris Holder is at the back right now.
Yeah, that's a disappointment for the Australian. Gate 1 not working so well for him, but what a start from Doyle. Doyle running hard and wide, running fast as well. Iversen pushing hard, didn't make a great start. He's on the inside. Super corner from Iversen to get the better of Limbach. What a ride from Iversen to move into second place. Limbach now, no, he's not going to get back to second place. Doyle's going to win it. This is a super ride from the Australian.
Yep, Jason Doyle with the lead, riding quite beautifully here. This will put Doyle onto 5 points. Yes, indeed. 5 points to Jason Doyle.
Good ride.
With Niels Christian Iversen beaten for the first time tonight, but still with a couple of points in the bag there. Limbach was third, and disappointment for Chris Holder because that puts Chris under pressure now. 4 points from 3 rides for Chris. He's got to do the business in his last 2, and we remind you that Woofenden has got preferential gates in the last 2. He's off gate 1 in heat 16, Ty Woofenden, and gate 1 in heat 18.
Yeah.
He'll fancy his chances there. Doyle, Iversen, Limbach, Holder. That's the finishing order. And now, after 3 rides each here in the FIM Speedway Grand Prix here in Stockholm, it's Niels Christian Iversen, the leader, on 8. Killerman, Janowski and Hancock on 7. A little bit lower down, the series leader, Ty Woofenden, on 5.
Well, these are the sort of rides that Jason Doyle is now beginning to produce at this level, and that will quite possibly see him through to being a fully fledged Grand Prix rider next year. What a smashing start it is out of gate 2. Stamps his authority on the first corner and the race right from when he drops the clutch. Limbach round the outside looking for room, but then he comes under pressure from Niels Christian Iversen, who uses the extra grip or that rut on the inside in turns 1 and 2 to full effect. You see it here there. He just keeps the bike going in the right direction at the right time, and that extra speed that he generates off that rut sees him through into second place, and he takes the wild card by surprise. Doyle out in front, delights his team with a super ride, moving on to 5 points, punches the air. Proud moment for the Australian, doing the business in heat number 12.
Yeah, great ride from Doyle. Riders are having to think tonight, Kelvin, because it's a temporary track. It adds an extra dimension to it, and the riders are having to use their brains a lot, aren't they?
You've got to have your brain in gear here because the straights are short. There's no time to relax on the bike, and split-second decisions and timing of those decisions is crucial. We've seen 2 brilliant moves from Ty Woofenden where he's got it absolutely spot on, and he has fired himself into big scoring positions through those decisions. It is tough, there's no question of that, And as I say, having ridden these sort of tracks with some track reports, I can assure you, you hardly have time to catch your breath. It really does make you work overtime. Good Speedway meeting, warming up nicely.
Yep, very much so, in this superb venue. Third year on the trot that we have been here, just outside the wonderful city of Stockholm. What are we, 15 minutes by taxi from the city centre? And, well, we can head down to the pits now, where Mats Janowski is ready to speak to our man, Chris Louis.
Mats Janowski, winner last time out, and more impressive coming from gate 4. It's very tough from the outside at the moment.
Yeah, it's tough because it's so far to first bend, so but we find good setup after first 2 hits, and now everything works good, so I hope we'll be like this to the end.
So important for you to have a good round today with 2 rounds to go, just 6 points the difference to slip out of the top 8. The pressure really is on.
Yeah, of course, you know, I don't want to think about this, how many points have someone behind me, so I focus about myself and try take many points, how I can. So you know, it's tough, but fingers crossed.
Good luck for the rest of the night. Thank you.
Yeah, super ride from Janowski when he made that start from the outside, wasn't it? And those are the sort of rides that are seeing him through into the top 8. And also Jason Doyle, I hope we can have a word with him, because there's no doubt that Doyle was really impressive last time. He's coming of age this year. He made a couple of mistakes early on in the season where he charged up the inside and got excluded on a couple of occasions, but Jason Doyle is riding nicely.
Well, let's hear what Ty Woffenden has to say about things right now. He is with our man Chris Louis.
Ty, not the start you would have wanted, going down on the deck in your first one. First of all, we've got to ask you, any injuries?
No, all good. I just bashed my knee a little bit, but you know, good job I got CTI knee braces on, so it never hurts too much.
Winner last time out, and was the points more important, or the psychological battle with Greg Hancock relegating him to third place?
Just a win, you know, first one of the night. So I'd like to keep the night going like that. You know, yeah, didn't start the best, but that's the way it is sometimes. But I'm happy and just plugging away.
The inside gate's proving very fruitful tonight. You've got gate 1 twice now coming up, so that's got to be a bonus.
Yeah, but did you see the start I made off too? Absolutely shocking. So if I keep doing that, I'll be struggling all night. But we're trying.
Good luck. Thanks, Ty.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Honesty?
Well, he didn't make a very good start from gate 2 in truth, but I don't expect him to make too bad a start from the inside gate. And the way he rides, you've got to believe he's going to be amongst the big points in his last couple of rides. And I think heat 11, the way he rode there and won that race, was indicative of what he's all about. When the pressure's really on, he comes through.
Well, let's head down to the pits now and hear from Jason Doyle with Chris.
Jason Doyle, 5 points on the night so far. Race winner last time out. Pleased so far?
Yeah, it didn't start too well. As soon as I let the clutch go, I lost all power, and I tried to play protective. I got hooked up with Jepsen Jensen, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, we move on. We're just trying to build some points now, and track's getting a bit deep out there and a bit different to practice, so we'll see how it goes.
Nice first turn last time out, just creeping around the inside. It's difficult to pick lines at the moment, isn't it? And there's 1 or 2 holes now developing. You've got to watch out for those.
Yeah, that's going to be perfect for me. We don't want a smooth racetrack. We need a bit out of control, so we'll see how it goes.
You enjoy a challenge from the track?
Yeah, we are. I don't like slick tracks, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the rougher the better.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff from Doyle. I like his attitude, and he rode nicely in his previous heat. Lindback just preparing himself for heat 13. He's going off the inside gate, Nigel, and he's had a good season this year, but he's probably hoping for a little bit better from his opening 3 rides. Lindback is on 3 points from 3 rides. He's going to make the semi-finals. Probably needs to win the next one.
Yep, I'd agree with that. So heat number 13 coming up. When we come back, the track grading is almost done here. But interesting comments from Jason that the track's getting deeper and doesn't like slick tracks. He likes something to race on.
Yeah.
But I think this is more, you could say, technical. Riders have to think about the way they ride a track like this, Kelvin.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of time, and it's a lot of the racing room. So you're right. You need to be quick thinking. Your brain, your racing brain, absolutely engaged. Otherwise, you can find yourself very, very easily in the wrong place at the wrong time. we've seen one or two riders struggling with that. People just taking the opportunity just to get some liquid refreshment as we're waiting for heat 13. Lindback, as we've already mentioned, is out of the inside and needs a big ride. Zagar needs a big ride. He hasn't been so good tonight. And just, what has he got? He's got a couple of points to his name. And Zagar, with heats running out, also needs a win, really, in truth, if he's going to make the top 8 in the semi-finals. And Zagar's had a good season. You know, he won in really good style in Gorjov 2 Grand Prix ago. So he'll be disappointed with his performance so far.
Getting all bunched up for the bronze medal as well. And not ruling out Nicky Pedersen of a shot at silver.
Yeah.
But right now, Niels Christian Iversen has moved on to 88 points. Matti Zagar is on 91. And Nicky Pedersen is now on 102. So, sorry, it's 103. Pedersen on 103. Zagar's on 91. And Niels Christian Iversen's on 88. So there's a real battle for a rostrum spot.
Absolutely, and you can see Iversen on 8 points from 3 rides tonight. Still opportunities, still plenty of points available, Nigel, so never throw the towel in.
Heat 13 back here in the Friends Arena in Stockholm, and it's Antonio Lindback going off the inside in red with Krzysztof Kasperzak of Poland, gate 2 in blue. Matti Zagar really needs points here if to keep his hopes alive, really, of challenging for a bronze medal at least. Gate 3 in white. And Chris Harris, who's dug deep tonight and worked hard, he goes off the outside in yellow. The man from Great Britain who, good to see Adam Roynan, who is a rider in the British leagues. He's alongside Chris Harris tonight, part of his pit crew. So here to give him a little bit of support. Chris Harris going from gate number 4, and again, we congratulate him on his achievement of becoming a Grand Prix rider again in 2016, earning it on merit via the Speedway Grand Prix Challenge.
Absolutely, rode brilliantly that day to come through. Only 3 qualifiers did the business. Lindback on the inside, we're looking for a big ride here. Zagar also desperate for a win now if he wants to make the semi-finals this evening. Green light's about to come on.
Heat number 13 it is then. Jim Lawrence, the referee, with his finger on the button, and Lindback's made a good one from the inside gate. Now Kasperzak is going to try to switch up the inside. Lindback got a little bit out of shape there at one stage, but maintains his advantage. Kasperzak is second. Chris Harris is third, and Matti Zagar's night of misery continues. He's struggling in the back right now, but this is more like it from Antonio Lindback. And if the organisers, Kelvin, are going to look for a Swede to pick next year, Lindback wants to put himself in the fray.
Absolutely. He started slowly tonight, Lindback, but this is much more like it. He's enjoying himself out in front, made full work of the inside gate, and is powering away. Bitterly disappointing ride for Zagar. He's out the back. Kasperzak is hanging on in second place with Harris pushing hard in third, but Lindback has cleared off out in front. He'll delight the home crowd here.
Yeah, this is going to be a big win for Antonio Lindback. He's making it look easy. Here he comes. Great joy for the Swedish fans. Antonio Lindback now up to 6 points from 4 rides, and that win, doubling his score, gives him a great shout of qualifying for the semi-finals here in Stockholm tonight. But Matti Zagar, only 2 points. Is he still struggling with that injury, I wonder?
Can't be fit. He's too good a rider. He's been in such good form, just not at the races this evening.
Lindback, Kasperzak, Harris, Zagar is the finishing order of heat number 13. Lindback moves into the top 8 on 6 points. Much more like it from Antonio Lindback, a man who is, of course, wild card, but this, remarkably, is his 70th appearance. When you look at the wild card, with Lindback on 70 Grand Prix appearances, and one of the reserves, Freddie Lindgren, has ridden in 84 GPs.
Remarkable, but what a super ride from Antonio Lindback. Had the inside gate, freshly prepared track, comes up with a storming ride, tapes up, clutches out, bikes charge into the first corner, and Lindback's there. Just catches that right, just about controls it. Kasperzak settles in second place, Harris in third. Disappointment for Zagar out the back. Harris pushed Kasperzak throughout the 4 laps, but that man cleared off out in front, and he'll be really pleased with that. A confidence-boosting ride, 1 ride to go, program ride to go, 6 points. He's got a chance of making the semi-finals, and probably needs to, in the context of getting a pick for next year's series.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So they put a marker down, this wonderful arena here at the Friends Arena in the beautiful city of Stockholm. They have a big Monster Jam event here in November. That'll be spectacular. And they have pop concerts here. And
it's a multi-purpose stadium, isn't it? It's a brilliant stadium. They have it working hard. Got to say, the football pitch I walked over today is a bit second-hand, but they may have to just renew that. But it's a fabulous arena, and I'm sure any event here will be worthwhile coming to.
Well, I was here back in November 2012 when Sweden demolished England in a friendly international. What a night that was. Ibrahimovic tearing England apart. Here we go, Michael Jepsen Jensen off the inside, Chris Holder going off gate number 2 in blue, Peter Kielemann goes off gate 3 in white, and Mats Zijanowski, can he do it again from the outside gate?
They'll be hoping so, but Peter Kielemann will be a tough nut to crack. Jepsen Jensen, his Grand Prix future is slipping away. He has been in a good position going into Cusco. He was right there, but didn't perform that day and has had a hard time so far this evening. Really has got to find something very special. Holder was disappointing last night, but Jepsen Jensen on the inside needs a victory.
Certainly does. You're quite right, Kel. Pressure on Jepsen Jensen off the inside gate. Here we go. Heat 14. And Jepsen Jensen has gone on one wheel at the start. That's not ideal, but he does have the lead now. Here comes Kielemann around the outside in white. Zijanowski battling with Holder for third. All very tight down the back straight. But now, can Kielemann hunt down his fellow countryman, Michael Jepsen Jensen, who has the lead. Holder holding the inside line. Trying to get up the inside of Zijanowski down the back straight.
Yeah, absolutely. Zijanowski on one wheel, just about hanging on for third place. Didn't think that Jepsen Jensen had made it. Sort of jumped initially off the start line, but the bike pulled into the first corner and he's riding. Once again, a rider, once they hit the front, they look very accomplished, comfortable, and the confidence starts coming on. Kielemann once again is strong in second place. Zijanowski hanging on the third, and disappointment for Holder. That's not what he was looking for. Jepsen Jensen fighting for his life out in front.
Yep, Chris Holder is in danger of missing out on the semi-finals, but that's a big ride from Michael Jepsen Jensen of Denmark. Puts him onto 3 points tonight as well, bearing in mind that he's hovering around that top 8. And importantly, he's just got the better of his fellow Dane, Peter Kielemann, who is challenging for the top 8 himself with a couple of rounds to go after tonight. But Kielemann will still be happy. 9 points he's got, and I think it's fair to say he can look forward to yet another semi-final appearance. Jepsen Jensen, Kielemann, Zijanowski and Holder. What a ride from Michael Jepsen Jensen in the city of Stockholm, famous for ABBA. Well, it's a case of the winner took it all there. I do apologise. These floodlights are a little bit bright. They look like Super Trooper.
Here we go. Obviously a bit of a favourite of yours, Nige. Certainly Jepsen Jensen was a favourite for himself here because he rides brilliantly out in front. The inside gate, bike sort of just leaps up a little bit underneath him, but he controls it well and he finds himself in front. Peter Kielemann once again is riding so well at this level, so consistent. 9 points to his name. He's already in the semi-finals. 5 points to Jepsen Jensen, and you've got to believe that he needs another win in his last ride to make sure of getting into the top 8 this evening. But the two Danish boys dominating the race. Holder back in 4th, 2 zeros to his name in the last 2 rides, not what he needed. Jepsen Jensen with work to do, but he's pumped after that victory.
Very much so. Heat number 15 coming up, and what a lineup this promises to be.
Yeah.
What a race it promises to be indeed. As we look towards the World Championship standings now, Ty Woffington on 132. His target coming down with every race. Greg Hancock 109. At every point, Hancock drops. And Pedersen, Woffington's target comes down. Before tonight, 39 points was what he needed, regardless of what any of his rivals did. Heat 15 then coming up. Quite a lineup, the two rivals. They had that dust-up earlier on in the season here in Sweden. Nicky Pedersen and Greg Hancock side by side. Niels Christian Iversen has ridden beautifully, gate 3 in white. And Andreas Jonsson goes off the outside in yellow.
What a good lineup this is. All riders amongst the points tonight. All riders looking for the semi-finals. Andreas Jonsson bouncing back last time. Wants the semi-final, needs the semi-final, needs to get something out of this Grand Prix campaign. Pedersen and Hancock going for the 2nd and 3rd in the World Championship chase. What will be the outcome this time? Everson on 8 points is riding really strongly this evening. Can he do something from gate 3? Super lineup, super racing prospect.
Yep, here we go then, heat number 15. Pedersen against Hancock off the inside 2 gates. Watch out for Everson in gate number 3. Jonsson from the outside. Hancock's got there, has he? He's shoved wide by Nicky Pedersen. Hancock has gone to the back here, and now around the outside. What a move from Andreas Jonsson out of the top draw. And now Everson up the inside of Pedersen, and Hancock is at the back right now. Going into lap 2. Here comes Hancock!
Down the back straight, how tight was that? Hancock used that row on the inside, got himself to the front, a magical move from the world champion, Andreas Jonsson. What a first lap that was, flying out in front, going to move up to 9 points and delight the home crowd. But Hancock, that was a fabulous move. Pedersen relegated to the back.
Well, Hancock was ruthless there, and you don't say this very often, but Nicky Pedersen has been beaten up here.
Yeah.
The lead is with Andreas Jonsson. Greg Hancock second, third Niels Christian Everson. Nicky Pedersen comes in last, and Nicky Pedersen now could well miss out on a semi-final spot. Tough speedway. Hancock charging round the path of Nicky Pedersen there. And what a ride from Andreas Jonsson, absolutely superb.
Well, how tight was it down the back straight initially? Jonsson showed a lot of courage there to get round the outside of Pedersen, because very often there is no room round the outside of Nicky, particularly down the straight. Hancock with a wonderful move up the inside to get the better of Everson and Pedersen. What a speedway race.
Third for Everson now. That puts him on to 9, but AJ's on 9 with 3 wins under his belt.
Yeah.
Jonsson and Hancock on 9 points, alongside Killerman and Everson, all bunched up at the top of the table on 9 points. Let's see it again. Remarkable speedway here.
Super speedway here. Round the outside initially with Jonsson. Down the back straight. Pedersen can't shut the door early enough. And Jonsson has the courage to steam down there. He had the speed. He got the momentum. Now Hancock, look, that little bit of extra grip. He gets from that rut. He works it brilliantly with Pedersen squeezed down the back straight there. And Everson then pounces through and comes into 3rd place. See it again. Hancock there just using that extra grip.
I think he meant that.
He did indeed. There, you didn't have any doubt about that at all. I'm coming through, and he got the better of the 2 Danish boys.
Bearing in mind their history, Hancock and Pedersen, and we congratulate AJ, of course we do. Brilliant ride. Was Greg aware of who his opponent was there? Did he have extra aggression there because it was Nicky Pedersen, or was he focused firmly on just trying to get 2 points there? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that he enjoyed passing Nicky Pedersen.
Okay.
No question about that. He would have been extremely motivated, but also he would have had in the back of his mind, Nige, dropping points is making Wolferden's job that much easier. So pressure on Hancock anyway. So a double motivation to get into 2nd place there.
It certainly is. So now the lead is 20 points for Ty Woffenden, but he's got this race in hand, and he goes off the inside gate here. So heat number 16 coming up then. Ty Woffenden of Great Britain off the inside gate, 5 points to his name. Thomas H. Jonathan, gate 2 in blue. Jason Doyle, gate 3 in white, had that win last time out. And Troy Batchelor goes off the outside in yellow. This is heat number 16. Can Woffenden make it pay from gate 1?
Well, I expect him to. Doyle could be a threat. Troy Batchelor started strongly, but then subsequently has faded. But Woffenden is a red-hot favourite here.
Yep, now, that's a great start from Thomas H. Jonathan, and he's clamped down Woffenden. Thomas H. Jonathan with the lead. Woffenden now is going to try and hunt him down. It's Doyle third, and Batchelor's at the back, but that's a super ride from Thomas H. Jonathan. But here comes Woffenden now. Looks over his shoulder, calculates the move, and gets off the gas. But Woffenden is going to do absolutely everything here to try and get the better of Thomas H. Jonathan.
Well, what a start from the Swedish rider out of gate 2. Gets the better of the championship leader. He's out in front. There's a couple of laps to go. Oh, Doyle's backed up. Bit of disappointment for the Australian, allows Batchelor through to 3rd place. Thomas H. Jonathan riding a strong race.
Here comes Woffenden!
Woffenden, oh, how tight's that? A lap to go.
Goodness me, and now Woffenden tries the inside run down the back straight. He is really riding the wheels off the bike. It's Thomas H. Jonathan. He's going to beat the leader. What a ride from Jonathan. He had Woffenden all over him there for 4 laps. Made the start, but my goodness, he will never have to work harder for a race win. Super stuff from Thomas H. Jonasson. Woffenden threw everything at him, including the kitchen sink. And what a ride it was, and commiserations to Jason Doyle.
Well, what a ride it was. He came into the race without a point to his name, comes up with a star-studded ride. Woffenden all over him. Woffenden really pushing the envelope there as the race came to its conclusion, but got to give credit to the Swede there. Jonasson rides a stormer.
Yep, Jonasson then now on 4 points. Woffenden with a couple of points to his name there. That's important because that now means that he is still well clear in the World Championship. He always was going to be anyway, but to put him on to 7 points now, Woffenden gives him a great shout of the semi-finals.
Yep.
And he's off gate number 1 in his next one, heat number 18.
Yeah, I thought for a moment he was going to get there, but got to say it's a great effort from Jonasson out of gate 2. A little bit wild on the opening lap because there's a few holes appearing in that first corner, and riders are now targeting them to generate extra speed. Woffenden on the inside early doors. Just see there, Jonasson just lifting 2 or 3 times with the bike surging away from him. Woffenden then trying to do it himself. So tight as they come out of the turn here, where you can see them coming across the start and finish line. Super Speedway from Jonasson though.
Yeah, great ride from Thomas H. Jonasson, it really was.
Yeah.
And rode superbly there to shock Ty Woffenden because he had him all over him, and to be fair to Jonasson, he had to ride a really clever race there to stop Woffenden.
Absolutely, had to have eyes in the back of his head, rode brilliantly. Woffenden did throw the kitchen sink at him and just couldn't find a way through, was desperate for another win, would have been targeting that race with the inside gate for 3 points. Still not out of it, of course, Woffenden with a race to go, but will need a couple of points to be sure of going through to the semi-finals. Isn't having it all his own way this evening, the World Championship leader, but he's doing just about enough.
Let's get some reaction down in the pits now with Chris Louis.
Peter Kilderman, 9 points so far this evening. Good night's work so far, but really focusing on automatic progression for the top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. The points really counting for me now. So yeah, I need to keep scoring them and yeah, see how far we can go.
Gate 2 next time out. The inside gates are a definite advantage tonight, so that's good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna have gate 2 now, so yeah, see what we can make out of it.
We know you're always happy out in the dirt on the outside line. Seems to be working, but not good enough to pass. If you're in front, you can ride out there very quickly, but very difficult to make the pass out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like even like the inside is quick now, so yeah, you have to be smart out there and you have to be really quick if you need some passing.
Good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, riding nicely, Peter Kilderman again. Couple of good, well, 4 good solid rides from him to see him into the semi-finals, and of course he's got that carrot of the top 8. He's getting ever closer. Riders are just beginning to trip up, particularly Michael Jensen, I feel, is coming under huge pressure from Kilderman, but Kilderman, if he keeps this up, he's going to give himself a very good chance of qualifying for next year's series, and that would be a brilliant effort, having missed the first 2 or 3 rounds.
Certainly would. 4 races to go of the regular meeting itself, each 1 to 20. That will then sort out the top 8 for a place in the semi-finals. And right now, it's very, very tight because you have Woffenden on 7, Limbach 6, Doyle on 5, Jepsen Jensen 5, Kasperzak's on 5, as is Nicky Pratt. There's a whole bunch of riders.
Yeah, well, one of them wins the race and they could get themselves in, couldn't they?
Absolutely.
And it is tough to go through the card this evening as it's been. But Andres Johnson is doing a terrific job, isn't he? He's just had 1 blip earlier on in his second ride, but subsequently comes up with 2 back-to-back wins, and that will delight the home crowd. They're so desperate for success. Hancock and the adopted son is riding strongly as well, and Peter Kilderman also at 9 points. So yeah, it's an interesting meeting. Ty Woffenden having to work a little harder tonight.
Still only Kilderman's 11th Grand Prix.
It's a remarkable
record. He's been in 5 finals, so he's virtually into a 6th semi-final now in 11 Grand Prix.
It's great, isn't it?
Which is remarkable, really. And if he can make it to the final as well, you know, he really, surely, even if he doesn't finish in the top 8 now, the organisers can't ignore him, can they?
No, he's given himself every chance of making even a pick for next year.
Let's get the thoughts of Greg Hancock now with Chris Louis.
Greg Hancock, 9 points so far this evening, but just reminding us there's still 1 or 2 tough moves in the locker there in Heat 15.
Yeah, exactly. I made a good jump there, but I let the bike get a little bit too high and missed it completely. So I had a good recovery there on the second lap and a good line up the inside, made the pass, and yeah, it feels good.
Track holding up well, but there is one rut on the inside of turns 1 and 2, and you actually seem like you used that to your advantage when you made the move on Nicky Pedersen.
Yeah, if you hit it right, it gives you a launch in the right direction. If you hit it wrong, it sends you the wrong way too. But it worked out good there, you know, and doors got to open up at the same time, and they did.
Ty is 7 points so far. The pressure is on him to score points in his last ride, so you could bring back some of that 25 points.
Yeah, you just got to keep the pressure on. You know, the kid's on fire. It's going to be a hell of a task, but you know, as long as there's a chance, man, I'm optimistic.
Great stuff. Keep going.
Yeah, you got it.
Great attitude from the world champion, isn't it? Such a positive outlook on every Grand Prix. Never believes that he's going to be out of it.
Well, let's hear from Andreas Jonsson, a man in form. He's with Chris.
Andreas Jonsson giving the Swedish fans something to cheer about. 9 points. Enjoying your evening?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's better than I could expect. Like I said, it's been a tough year for me at the GP, and actually to win 3 heats of 4 today, it feels fantastic.
Inside gate in your last race as well. That's going to be a big bonus for you.
I hope so. You know, gate changes all the time, and I nearly made it there from 4. So you know, it would be nice to stay on game 1, as it looks like it is the best one still.
Good luck for the rest of the night. Thanks, AJ.
Super ride from Andreas Jonsson, 3 wins out of 4. We're building up to heat 17 now with the Danes off gates 2 and 4. Peter Killerman and Niels Christian Iversen both into the semi-finals already, so job done. But heat number 17 is coming up. It's fast and furious here in the Friends Arena, and heat 17 is on the way. Here we go, heat number 17 then, with Chris Harris going off the inside gate in red. Peter Killerman goes off gate number 2 in blue. Troy Batchelor gate 3 white. And Niels Christian Iversen going off the outside in yellow. Chris Harris, a real battler. Can he get a win under his belt here? And as we've said, really during the gap between races, Kelvin, 1 race win for the likes of Doyle, Jepsen Jensen, Kasperzak, Nicky or Harris. That could put them into the semi-finals, just 1 race win.
Absolutely, so still plenty to race for. Peter Kilderman and Iversen are through to the semi-finals already, but Peter Kilderman is looking for a top 8, so he'll be pushing on. Iversen wants to push on as well. He wants another Grand Prix victory. Harris on the inside, gate 1. Can't afford to slip up this time.
Yeah, he had it in the first race, but he allowed Hancock past him in that one. Here we go, heat number 17. Good start from Chris Harris. Batchelor's made a good one. Changed his bike, and now he's got second spot. Here comes Iversen round the outside, but the lead is with Great Britain's Chris Harris off the inside gate. Harris in red from Iversen. Iversen tries the inside run here. Batchelor third, and Peter Killerman is at the back right now.
Absolutely, super stuff from Harris. Out in front, made the inside gate work. Shouldn't slip up from there. He's got this race wrapped up. If he can just hang on, he's looking good. Iversen's through in the second place. Peter Kilderman disappointing out the back, but Harris riding nicely, looking like he's going to pick up his first win of the night. And could that be enough for the semi-finals?
Yeah, very much so. It'll put a race win under his belt, which could be vital in the countback. 3 big points on the way for Chris Harris of Great Britain. He really is a brave old battler. His 90th Grand Prix. He's going to go past the 100 Grand Prix mark next year. That's a milestone in itself for Chris Harris. And that is a brilliant ride because it puts him on to 8 points. And a real battle there with Iversen second, Batchelor was third, and Peter Killerman from gate 2 struggling, but done enough for a semi-final spot, Peter Killerman anyway. 17 heats gone now, and what about that from Chris Harris? That could be a massive result for Chris. Second place Iversen, third Batchelor, and Killerman at the back. And when people think, well, Harris is already secure for next year, he's not going to put it on the line for the rest of the year, you don't know Chris Harris, because my goodness, he gives it absolutely everything. He moves into the top 8 with 8 points. Iversen tops the standings on 11 now.
Yeah, great ride from Chris, and he'll be pleased with it. And you saw the reaction. He was really proud with that one, and he didn't make any mistakes this time. He'll have to wait patiently because he could be overhauled, but he'll be hoping that he can have an opportunity for another ride. Great start from the inside and rides nicely out in front. Riders behind him actually falling over themselves, with Iversen coming through into second place. And the shock here is Kilderman. He's out the back. He doesn't really land a blow. Troy Batchelor in third place, but Chris Harris is rightly pleased with this. This is the sort of ride he needs. He's a fully fledged Grand Prix rider. And next year he's back in the series, isn't he? So he needs heat victories. He needs to be able to compete at this level. And that's a confidence-boosting ride for him.
Yeah, well done, Chris Harris. Brilliant stuff. Great ride from the man who originates from Cornwall in the UK, but now in Coventry, of course, rides for the Coventry Bees in the British Elite League. Got his testimonial there next year.
Yeah.
Called off earlier this year, but we wish Chris well for his testimonial at Coventry next year. And, of course, back in the GP Series as well. Now, Woffington, the series leader, off the inside gate here. 134 points to Greg Hancock's 111. And Nicky Pedersen, who's third in the World Championship, is going off the outside gate here in the yellow helmet colour.
Interesting lineup. Pedersen got beaten up last time, as you described it, Nige, and it was spot on. Got pushed out of it going down the back straight. He's got to come up with a big ride, Pedersen, now.
Woffington, Jepsen Jensen, Lindback, Pedersen, Kelv. Does seem to me that Nicky, he admitted it in an interview earlier, if he can sort the speed out of his bikes.
Yeah.
He hasn't got it at the moment, has he?
It's vanished, hasn't it? He started the season so brightly, has won Grand Prix this year, and it appeared that he'd got his speed back with the change of regulation to the exhaust pipe. Looked like he was going to be a real threat for the championship. In recent weeks, for some reason, I'm sure he's working awfully hard to find it, but it's just not there. And I do think psychologically it's affecting him.
Heat number 18, can Woffington take another huge step towards his goal of becoming world champion for a second time in 3 years? He's made a dream start there. Woffington has the lead. Now it's Jepsen Jensen second. Nicky Pedersen is third. He's going to have to do better than this with Lindback at the back. It looks like Nicky is going to miss out on a semi-final spot. And now he's charging hard under Michael Jepsen Jensen. Jepsen Jensen's got a hold of his nerve, but Pedersen's just come through. Woffington, though, has the lead.
Off the inside, championship leader makes no mistake. Jepsen Jensen back into second place. Pedersen now replaced the compliment as they charge into turn one. Look at Jepsen Jensen all over the place. Pedersen hanging on in second place, but Ty Woffington, this will do nicely. He'll move on to 10 points, comfortably through into the semi-finals. There's a terrific battle for second place between the two Danish boys. Nicky Pedersen out of shape, but Woffington's got it.
Yep, Woffington is going to move on to 10 points and go through to the semi-finals of the Stockholm FIM Speedway Grand Prix, the Tegera Stockholm FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Big ride. Woffington, who started with the last place, has hit double figures now. 10 points for Woffington. That'll do nicely for him. And he now leads the World Championship by 26 points, although Hancock has one race in hand.
Yeah, super ride from Woffington. Produced it when he really needed it, and 10 points is a nice, handy return on this evening's work.
Pedersen was second, Jepsen Jensen was third. It was a tough race, that one, for second spot.
Was it ever?
Woffington on 10. Pedersen sneaks into the top 8 with 7 points. May not be enough here. He's still got Jason Doyle to worry about in his last race, of course. Doyle currently on 5 points, but he may just sneak in if Doyle only finishes third.
Yeah, he'll have to wait and see, but Woffington hasn't got any problems now. He's safely through into the semi-finals, riding nicely here, out in front, comfortable, but it was a real battle between Jepsen Jensen and Pedersen. They swapped second place on several occasions. And Jepsen Jensen, of course, who run his race previously, but this time just can't hang on to second place, and Nicky Pedersen finally gets back into second place with Lindback. That was a desperately disappointing ride from him. Looking like he could have a chance of a semi-final, but failing to score there. No chance for him on 6 points, or 5 points, is it? 6 points from his 5 rides. That won't be enough. But Pedersen, as you rightly say, Nigel, he'll have to be patient now and see what happens with Jason Doyle.
Could make it. There's Doyle, there's Kasperzak in this one as well, who's on 5. And then it would come down to 8 points for Kasperzak if he won this race, and that would put Nicky out. So let's see what happens. 2 heats to go, all to race for. But on the context of the night overall, Ty Woffington will be the happiest man of all.
Yes.
Because he now has 10 points on the night, 1 more than Hancock. Started with a 25-point lead, leads by 26 now. And Hancock has this race in hand.
Yeah, he has, and I fully expect Hancock to pick up at least 2 or 3 points here. So Greg will be closing in again.
Here's Hancock, Kasperzak off 2. Holder goes off gate 3, and off the outside is Jonasson. But whatever happens, it's job done for Woffington. 10 points. If he doesn't score another point tonight, it's job done.
Exactly. There's no chink in the armour, is there? Because, you know, even if he goes away with a 20-point lead, for example.
There's only 2 rounds left.
There's only a couple of rounds to go, so he is well and truly in the driving seat. And Heat 11 epitomised the champion's mentality, or the championship leader's mentality, coming up with a huge ride when he really needed it.
Here we go. Heat number 19. Can Hancock do it from the inside? Oh, Hancock's moved at the start.
And so is Kasperzak.
Yeah.
And he was may have been put off by Hancock just being a touch impatient.
Jim Lawrence put the red lights on straight away.
Yeah, tapes were held for a period of time there, maybe slightly longer than ordinarily, but yeah, a clear case of an unsatisfactory start. Yeah, you can see there, I think the tapes were held quite a long time there. Just moved a little bit, and that created the problem for Kasperzak to go early, but...
I think Hancock moved first, didn't he?
Absolutely, just rolled a fraction. Just there.
Ooh.
And that created the problem for Kasperzak. It's often the case when you're looking across the front tyre of the rider on the inside, but I expect all 4 back here.
It's not like Greg, is it? Doesn't do that very often, Kelv.
No, he's normally very composed.
He's immaculate, isn't he?
He's normally very composed on the start line. Rarely do you see that for him, and rightly pulled back. But just under 2 minutes. They won't be long before they're back up at tapes. I think that's an indication of the pressure that's now that Woofenden is beginning to apply, isn't it? Because as hard as these guys are trying behind him, Woofenden is not letting up. When it looks like he had a poor start to tonight, found himself on his backside before he got to the first corner in his opening ride, but subsequently comes up with 10 points for the next 4. And as you rightly say, Nigel, the job is then done. You know, the pressure is heaped back on the riders trying to chase him down, and at the moment, does appear to be a bit of a lost cause for the opposition. Woofenden is in the driving seat.
Very much so. 137.26 ahead of this man, Hancock. Could he win it in Torrent?
Well, it's on the cards.
Be crowned world champion next week?
Very much on the cards.
Could well be. Because if he goes to Australia 22 clear, nobody can catch him.
He's world champion.
Absolutely. So, could happen. He won't be thinking about that. Woofenden, he just wants to get the job done and focus on what he's got to do and what he needs to do. Before tonight, 39 points was his target, regardless of what anybody else around him did. Hancock inside gate, Kasperzak gate 2, Holder gate 3, Jonasson off the outside. It's a rare restart. We've rattled on tonight and got through the racing.
Absolutely.
Fair old pace.
It has. It's been very smooth. That's I think that's testament to track conditions. Riders really giving it their all. Holder's been a touch disappointing this evening, and he'll be disappointed with that. Just when he needed a strong performance, has actually ridden very well on these temporary tracks in the past. Of course, he's won Cardiff on more than one occasion, very similar to this. Cardiff almost identical track size and conditions, so this Holder's had a tough night tonight.
Here we go, heat number 19 here in Stockholm. Second time of asking, they're away this time. Perfect from Hancock off the inside gate. Kasperzak goes wide. Jonasson is going towards the fence, but Hancock has built up so much speed early on. He is looking superb here. Second place, Kasperzak, who goes wide. Holder at the back right now. Jonasson is third, and Jonasson now challenging hard on Christoph Kasperzak. That's a smart move from Thomas H. Jonasson for second spot now.
Yeah, textbook stuff from the world champion. He's out in front, he's going to move on to 12 points, should do from there. Thomas H. Jonasson clearly full of confidence after his last victory where he beat Ty Woofenden in a terrific ride. Kasperzak relegated to third, and Holder clearly not enjoying himself. He's out the back, but Hancock out in front, pushing on. Can he win his first Grand Prix in Sweden? What a delight that would be. It would be a fairy tale for him. Back-to-back Grand Prix victories could be on.
Yeah, well, he's going to have favoured pick for gate positions because he's finished on 12 points from 5 rides, the old master.
Yeah.
Greg Hancock into the semi-finals. Never won a Grand Prix in Sweden. He's been in 79 finals, 19 wins to his name, but never won here in Sweden, which is where he's based during the European season before heading back to California during the winter. So, great ride from Greg Herbie Hancock. Once he made the start there, the drive that he got coming out of turn 2 was extraordinary. Hancock, Jonasson, Kasperzak and Holder. Disappointed in the end for the 2012 champion Chris Holder, but my goodness, the speed that Hancock carried there, Kelvin, was something special.
Yeah, really good, and he uses that rut on the inside. In his interview with Chris, he was saying if you hit it right, it can actually propel you forward and you gain speed, and he did it perfectly there as he came off the first corner. Watch it again. the inside. Classic Hancock. Thomas H. Johnson on the outside now. He hits it there, and it just gives him a little bit more impetus as he goes down the back straight. Super ride from the world champion. Now Thomas H. Johnson getting the better of Christoph Kasperzak, chopping to the inside and steams up the inside, and he uses the ruts on the inside as well to gain extra speed. But 12 points to his name, Greg Hancock. He's going to have a good pick for the semi-finals. He's going to be looking very keenly to make the final here this evening, and he's made it on 2 previous occasions in 2013 and 2014. He's enjoying himself. Good to see.
Yeah, great stuff, Greg. And by my reckoning here, heat number 20 coming up. If Jason Doyle finishes second, he will finish level on 7 points with Nicky Pedersen. No race wins. Oh, I do apologise. Jason Doyle's got a win in his 3rd ride. That will put him through. And he beat Nicky on the countback anyway when they went head-to-head. So a 2nd place for Jason here.
Yeah, absolutely. Not easy, though, because he's got Andres Johnson on the inside who's going great guns, and Janowski also hungry for points. So Doyle with work to do.
Where's AJ come from again? You know, it's been average all year. He's only hit double figures once.
Yeah, it's been disappointing from AJ, but he's having a terrific meeting tonight in front of the Stockholm crowd.
And if he carries on like this in Torren next week and then in Melbourne, what do the organisers do about a Swede? Do they go back to AJ?
Well, it's going to be difficult because Lindback has been disappointing tonight. He had a great opportunity to put himself well and truly in the shot window, and unfortunately he's come up short. And Andreas Johnson's timing is probably spot on because because he has come up with a very strong performance, just to remind the organisers that he isn't all over. AJ on the inside, can he make it 12 points?
Here we go, that's a good start from Janowski off gate number 3, a very tight first turn. Doyle's in the mix, round the outside they go, and Doyle's got the room! Jason Doyle has taken the lead. I thought it was going to end in tears there, and Zagar holds second, Janowski is third, and shoves Johnson to the fence. What a move from Jason Doyle!
Well, really wild opening lap there. Doyle then pounced and got himself to the front. Zagar now working overtime in 2nd place. Janowski coming through to 3rd, and Andres Johnson, disappointment for him, finds himself out the back, but Jason Doyle, disappointing in his opening ride, ran out of steam, got beaten up as he came out of the first corner. He's going to finish strongly here.
Yeah, finish with a win. Yeah, he's going to put Nicky Pedersen out of the semi-finals. Right. It's going to be a big win for Jason Doyle of Australia. He's got it all on to finish in the top 8, but this will be a huge boost for him to be a fully fledged Grand Prix rider again in 2016. And Jason Doyle, well, rides like that can be huge, not just on the night, but for his Grand Prix career as well. Full credit to Jason Doyle of Australia. But a lot of press talk this week in England, the UK, about where he may ride next year. Been riding for the Leicester Lions at the Jordan Road Surfacing Stadium this year, and been linked with moves elsewhere in the press, but he said, don't believe everything you read. He said he's got to make it all work out for next year. Zagar 2nd, Janowski 3rd, Johnson at the back. And it means that Greg Hancock will get first pick of gate positions in the semi-finals.
Jason Doyle has done himself a whole load of good there once again. It's a great ride. It's a tough race because Johnson on the inside coming in here with 9 points, leads at this early stage. Janowski around the outside. Johnson then lifts just momentarily there, and that kills his speed as he goes down the back straight, runs wide, and that allows Jason Doyle with this move to come between riders, gets his wheels in line, and the opportunity's there, and he takes it. It's a great move from the Australian. Andres Johnson, the bike setup maybe just a little bit too extreme here. Lifts there, and again, loses speed, and then he finds himself, by the end of the first lap, he's relegated to the back with a strong move from Janowski coming up into 3rd place. Disappointment for the Swede, but delight for the Australian. Jason Doyle out in front, really comes up with a strong ride when he really needed it, and he's through to the semi-finals. Good stuff from him, a little bit up and down, but he provides a big heat win when he really needed it.
Fair to say it's been an educational year for Jason Doyle in the Grand Prix. He's had to learn things the hard way at times.
Yes.
He's had to remember that perhaps a Speedway race is over 4 laps and not 2. And I'm sure he's learned a lot, Kelf.
He has, and he's shown maturity. He has a sports psychologist working with him now. And who knows, that may well just be beginning to make him a little calm. I sense he's quite a highly strung guy, really gives it his all, but possibly gets nervous as well. And that's why he's maybe been a little bit impetuous at times, but fair play to him. He's going to be a Grand Prix rider next year, and to all intents and purposes, and that's to his huge credit.
Yeah, very much so. Full credit to him indeed. And looking forward to the semi-finals now. Should be entertaining as the race for the world title continues.
Can it be the night that Greg Hancock finally wins in Sweden? It would be. I'm sure everybody will be delighted for him. Of course, this crowd will be, because they effectively adopted him as one of their own. They had a great reception when he was introduced this evening, and I'm sure they'll be very pleased to see him win here this evening. And the way he's riding, it's perfectly possible, because he's got a great opportunity with the semi-finals, because he's going to have a good pick. Crowd just relaxing before the semi-finals. We're waiting for riders to gather for those all-important picks, and it will be an interesting outcome to this evening's meeting.
Very much so. And we await news on the semi-finals now. Good crowd here, slightly up on last year's crowd here in the Friends Arena. So certainly looking forward to the semi-finals. And we really have cracked on. We've only been going, what?
Yeah.
An hour and 50 minutes, I reckon, since heat 1.
Yeah, less than 2 hours for 20 heats. That's a slick show.
But I think that's what fans want, Kel. They don't want to sit around watching tractors and
absolutely,
and like
they want constant action, you know, and Speedway is a minute of action and then in and out, and I think it's worked nicely. Still waiting for riders to gather.
What's your favourite ABBA song, then?
I can't tell you.
Not into ABBA.
Not a favourite band of mine, Nige. It's
really?
more your cup of tea, I think.
Yeah.
You were reeling off those hits one after the other.
Winner Takes It All, Fernando, Super Trooper.
What was it? Waterloo won the
Eurovision Song Contest, 1974.
There you go, that's the one then. Here we go.
In our stats pack. Here we go. It's the
all-important picks for the semi-final number 1.
Absolutely.
And it will be interesting to see which way riders go. Inside gates have been winning. Here we see them. This is perfect timing. Yeah, the inside gate and gate 2 still working. You can win from the outside. Gate 3, of course, the only winner from there was Greg Hancock. And, of course, that was in his opening ride when he got the better of Harris, who just made that slight mistake as he was coming through.
Well, the track grading is almost done, and we just await news of the draw, because the top 8 is clear-cut. We have 2 riders on 8 in Harris and Doyle, Janowski, Kieleman and Jonsson on 9, Woffinen 10, Iversen 11 and Hancock on 12. So we just await the semi-final picks now. Down in the pits area, the riders are ready. First semi-final, here we go. Greg Hancock. Got to be gate 1, hasn't it?
Yeah, world champion, and it goes immediately for the inside gate. No surprise at all. Won his last ride from there very comfortably. Andres Jonsson, disappointing last time. That was a little slip up. Had a slip up in his second ride. Goes for gate 4, looking for that blast round the outside in the first semi-final.
And also knows that if he's alongside Hancock in gate 2, Hancock out-traps him, you get in trouble in the first turn.
Yeah, good point. Well made.
Thank you.
That's a surprise. Just one winner from gate 3, but Janowski's chosen it. Obviously worried about gate 2. And Doyle, big smile on his face. He's happy to take the gate T. So semi-final number 1, Hancock in red on the inside, Doyle in blue, gate 2, Janowski in white, gate 3, and Jonsson on the outside in yellow. So
it's got to be Iversen 1, Woffinen 2, hasn't it?
You'd believe so, wouldn't it?
Iversen 1, Woffinen 4.
Iversen going for the inside, no surprise.
So Iversen 1.
Woffenden now, this is an interesting call. Goes for gate 2.
There you go.
Has faith, although he made a poor start from there earlier on. Had no hesitation with going for gate 2. Kilderman will got to be going for gate 4. Yep.
He'll fancy that.
Kilderman round the outside in the first turn could be very interesting. And Chris Harris out of gate 3. Good last ride to make the semi-finals, in truth. Hasn't been in the semi-finals for some period of time. So semi-final number 2, Iversen, Woffenden, Harris, and the exciting Kilderman on the outside.
Yep, so looking forward to this then. for the semi-finals. The World Championship right now, Ty Woffenden still leads by 23 points with 2 and a bit rounds to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's still doing the job. Only dropped a couple of points overall in the lead. So, you know, 23 points is still more than a Grand Prix victory. So they'll be more than satisfied with their evening's work so far. There it is, clearly outlined for you. 137 plays, 114.
He's going to have a minimum 17-point lead. If he finishes last in the semi and Greg wins both semi and final, the lead will be 17. So it's still job done tonight, although Woffenden will be looking to kick on in his second semi-final. The battle for the top 8 very much alive.
Slightly surprised that he took gate 2. He took gate 2 in Cosgrove and it didn't really work out. Had to work really hard to get to the front in the semi-final, then took it again in the final and still didn't quite get there with Hancock making it. I was going along the thought lines that he would have gone from the outside, but didn't do. And Everson, who won nicely from the inside, has got that favoured inside gate, but Woffenden, you can never rule him out. Could well come up with something very special in semi-final number 2. Doyle is eager to get on with it in semi-final number 1. Australian support here for him. And I'm sure the Swedes would love to see Andreas Jonsson produce something special in this opening semi-final. They're desperate to have a Swede in the final, I'm sure.
Very much so. So, semi-final number 1, Greg Hancock, never won in Sweden. How he would love to do that here. Good atmosphere tonight as well in this Friends Arena. It's been good to be back here this evening. And this magnificent venue as the riders push off, ready for semi-final number 1. And Doyle sneaking in there with a fantastic ride just when it mattered most in heat 20.
Yeah, that was a ride of character, that was, to come through that, and got himself in there and needed it. Andreas Jonsson needs another big ride here, as we've been talking about this evening, about reminding the organisers of the picks. If he makes the final, gets on the rostrum, perfect timing for the Swede.
Here we go, first semi-final. Riders up at the tapes. So, can Hancock make it count off gate number 1?
He could do. He's ridden brilliantly tonight. He makes great starts. You've got to believe that he must have a very good chance going from the inside, Nigel.
First semi-final coming right up. Semi-final number 1 here, Greg Hancock off the inside in red, Californian, based in Stockholm. Here we are in Stockholm. Jason Doyle, gate 2. Mats Janowski, gate 3. Andreas Jonsson off the outside. Hancock off gate number 1. 189 GPs.
Wow.
Never won in Sweden, but in the city of ABBA, no doubt he's thinking, gimme, 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 a win here in Sweden.
He would love it, wouldn't he? He would love it, the ABBA. Keep coming, Nige, don't they?
Love it.
You do indeed, quite clearly. And there's no doubt that Greg Hancock would love to win here in Stockholm. It is 189 Grand Prix and he hasn't managed to win in Sweden. That's a remarkable stat in itself, isn't it? Jonsson on the outside, he will be very keen. He's won in Sweden, he's won in Manila, of course, where he used to ride, so he has delighted the home crowd. Janowski and Doyle out of gates 2 and 3 respectively, looking for the final as well. But could it be back-to-back Grand Prix wins for Greg Hancock? It's come on strong, 37 points in the previous 2 Grand Prix, 12 here tonight, enjoying a super night at Speedway once again.
He must wish the series started in Gorjov.
Yes.
Here we go, first semi-final. Can anybody stop Hancock off the inside gate? Janowski has made a beauty. Mats Janowski from gate number 3. Hancock tries the inside run and has got there. And here comes Doyle on the inside of Hancock. Oh my goodness, how's he managed that? Mats Janowski with the lead. Jason Doyle is second. Andreas Jonsson is in the back. Hancock, Doyle's almost lost it. Here comes Hancock.
Oh, and a shame, Doyle. Could he have thrown that away? Yes, he's run wide. Hancock charges up into second place. What a start from Janowski. Brilliant out of gate 3 and he's cleared off out in front. Hancock having a little bit of good fortune there from the mistake from Jason Doyle. Disappointment for the Australian. Janowski's got a lot to go. He's comfortable out in front. Hancock with a little bit of good fortune. He's in second.
Well, what a ride from Mats Janowski. He's winning this race easily.
Yeah.
What a ride. He really has made a fantastic start there. And with Greg Hancock second, somewhat fortunately, really, the way Doyle lost control of the bike, because Doyle had done all the hard work there.
Yeah, he
had.
had.
To feel for Jason Doyle, but Hancock was there to say thank you very much.
Absolutely, and you've got to feel for Doyle because he had that second place, hit that rut in the first corner, ran very wide, and then Hancock saw his opportunity and roared up the inside to snatch second place, and he's in a third consecutive final here in the Friends Arena. What a ride from Janowski. That was special for him.
Yep, Janowski takes the victory. 3 big points for Magic. But Hancock leads the GP on 14, and it's Hancock and Janowski who are our first 2 finalists, with Jonsson and Doyle missing out. But Doyle seemed to do so much hard work there.
God,
and lost control of the
we'll
bike.
see it again, and just missed out there. Janowski makes a great start. He chose gate 3, went against the stats. I didn't fancy it at all, but he made light work of it. Here comes Doyle up the inside of Hancock, and Hancock's under pressure now with Jonsson out the back. Janowski pulling further away as they completed the first lap. It was Janowski's semi-final all the way through. Here you see Hancock, it's tight coming out of the first corner. Jason Doyle, that strong move up the inside, there's no clash. But now he just collects too much grip, out of shape, runs too wide, loses his speed, tries to recover, can't get there, and the world champion forces his way through into second place. Got to feel for Doyle, got to feel for him. Just can't quite manage to get through to a final. Had an opportunity in Horsens, of course, and just made a mistake then. Janowski's there. Good ride from him. 12 points. Good work from the pole.
And it's only his second Grand Prix final. The one that he has so far, of course, is 1 Grand Prix to his name. Mats Janowski.
Oh, it was Latvia, wasn't it?
That wasn't actually a win in a final because it was called off after 20 heats.
Yeah, the rain put paid to that, so he's through. Can he win a final tonight and win a Grand Prix for real?
Here we go. Second semi-final. Niels Christian Iversen goes off the inside. Ty Woffenden is off gate number 2 in blue. Chris Harris, gate 3 in white, 8 points. And Peter Killerman off the outside in yellow.
Super looking lineup for semi-final number 2. Niels Christian Iversen has become quite a specialist of these indoor meetings and has won plenty in the past. Woofenden has had a tough run here. Hasn't been a happy hunting ground for Woofenden, but he's ridden well tonight for his 10 points. Harris coming in. It's been a while since he's made a final.
3 years.
3 years, but there you are. He goes out of gate number 3. But Kilderman on the outside. Here we go.
Semi-final number 2. Can Woffenden do the business off 2? He's made a good start, but so has Iversen. And it's all very tight in that first turn. Now Woffenden is going to try and hold the inside line. Watch out around the outside. Peter Killerman is there. Killerman now has to go square. There was no room there with Iversen in the lead. Woffenden holds second, Harris third. And now Peter Killerman will take up the challenge. Harris has got speed. Oh, just avoids the back wheel of Ty Woffenden.
Brilliant stuff from Iversen off the inside gate. Very tight in the first corner. Woofenden there comes into second place. Kilderman charges up the inside of Harris. Harris has gone down. Decision time for Jim Lawrence, the referee. First bit of controversy we've really had this evening. We've had to wait right until semi-final number 2.
Yeah, the red lights have gone on.
Kilderman was desperate there, came roaring up the inside of the British rider. He's up and about, good to see. Get the feeling there was a bit of contact. Peter Kilderman could be in trouble here. Just a little bit of contact there, and that takes the left leg away from Harris. Peter Kilderman could be excluded for that.
Well,
think it's going to go.
The referee is watching this.
Get the feeling
the yellow helmet colour is on.
Yeah, Kilderman's gone.
Peter Killerman is disqualified as the cause of the stoppage of the race.
Now,
semi-final number 2.
Is it going to be rerun, Nige?
Well, they were not in the last lap.
So it'll have to be, won't it?
So the situation is that Jim Lawrence has to make a call on that. There he is. Jim Lawrence alongside Graham Brodie, who is a former referee as well. Peter Kilderman excluded.
I think it's the right decision.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Kilderman, just charging too hard there. Good to see that Harris is okay. slipped off the bike and bounced up. He often does bounce up, Harris. Seems to be indestructible at times, the British rider. You see it here now. Harris left the door open, there's no question of that. But Peter Kilderman just roars in there a little bit too hard. We saw Jason Doyle earlier this season have two very similar instances with him coming up the inside of riders. May have actually involved Harris as well. Just taking that left leg away and unsettling the rider, and they have to bail off. Disappointment for Kilderman, because he has such a strong record when he gets to the latter stages of Grand Prix. Won't make the final tonight, but still, that's a disappointment for him, because he really needs every point he possibly can get. He had 9 points going into the semi-final, but won't score any more this evening. So, you know, that run of form, that run of point scoring he's had at Grand Prix has just come to a halt here this evening.
Yeah, disappointing for Peter Kilderman, because you know, he was very much in contention for a top 8 spot automatically.
Exactly.
But the form that he's shown, you know, you have to say that surely there's every chance that the organisers, well, they cannot ignore Peter Kilderman now, can they? His track record speaks for itself.
Exactly, and with a Grand Prix win as well, then, you know, he has every chance of being a permanent pick for next year's series. He'll be disappointed, of course.
Gutted, isn't he? Absolutely gutted.
He was. It was a tough race. The racing was really close, and he roared round the outside there, but then got pushed to the back.
I don't think he'd have caught Woofenden anyway, but it's every point that's vital, isn't it?
Yeah, and you see it there quite clearly. Just comes in a little bit too wide and a little bit too hot. And Chris Harris, who had moved wide, he kind of invited it, but nonetheless couldn't protect it. And there's a bit of contact, and the British rider comes down, and Kilderman was excluded for it. We'll wait for the boys. Well, certainly Phil Morris, the race director, will give him some extra time to get himself prepared for the rerun. And Harris actually now has got a second chance of making the final, of course.
Yeah, has to be said, the pictures that you're seeing here are also actually being beamed on the big screen here in the Friends Arena, and it's not just a big screen, it's absolutely massive screen that is hanging from the roof in this stadium.
Yeah, it's great.
It really is fantastic for the spectators to be able to see that and look at the replays as well. It really is a great facility. There you see it, it's 4 sides. You can see it from all parts of the stadium here in this Friends Arena, the big screen.
Yeah, it's good.
It is such a fantastic venue here, 3 years old now, and good to be back here with a Speedway, Kelv.
Absolutely, it's a very comfortable stadium to work in. I'm sure it's a very comfortable stadium to watch the action in as well.
We've got leather seats in the commentary box.
Exactly, yeah.
What is going on here?
Well, we're being sport rotten, Nigel. And the leather seats are here. It really is terrific. Good evening, everybody. No, it's a real treat. And as I say, these people are watching some terrific action. Yeah, it's shame that Andres Johnson just missed out in semi-final #1, but there's no question that Greg Hancock's there. Can he win his for the first time this evening in Stockholm?
Yep, Iversen has ridden beautifully once again tonight. Niels Christian Iversen with 4 Grand Prix wins to his name. A little bit like Kilderman, wins 1 in every 2 appearances in a final. He's got 8 final appearances under his belt, and he's won 4 of them.
Yeah.
So it's a great record for Niels Christian Iversen. Chris Harris has reached 8 finals in his Grand Prix career. As I say, it's his 90th Grand Prix tonight, so next year he's going to go through the 100 GP barrier, and you know, to join an elite band of riders who've ridden in 100 Grand Prix, I think is a great achievement.
Yeah, and he's had to do it often the hard way. He's had a few invites back. He's only won 1 Grand Prix, of course, which is a memorable one in 2007 in Cardiff.
There is Adam Roynan with him, who I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, Adam's here and playing that role in the pits and working hard. Marcel Gerhard, of course, was in the pits there alongside him. He's riding the GTR engines this evening, and he'll be chuffed to bits to get to the latter stages of the Grand Prix. But Iversen coming off the inside, he is a wily character, vastly experienced, a World Cup winner, of course, on many occasions, a Grand Prix winner this year in Cardiff, and he has won here before. And I can't see him getting a medal this year. Hope I'm not writing him off too soon, but I think that what he'll be working for now, Nigel, is Grand Prix victories. And he'll be more than satisfied to try and win here this evening.
Yeah, he's on 92 points, Niels Christian Iversen. There's the top 4. Everson on 92, so he's not too far behind.
It's not out of it.
Keeps this form going, he could.
He could. It's a little long shot, but I would think he's just taking each race as it comes, and he knows what it's like to win Grand Prix, so I'm sure he'll be targeting that again here tonight.
And when you bear in mind, Kel, that of the completed GPs, 6 points in Finland, 8 points in Prague, failed to score double figures in the Grand Prix series, Niels Christian Everson, until Cardiff.
Yeah.
When we came back from the World Cup break, when he got 14 and won the meeting.
That win came from nowhere as well. He wasn't really our favourite going into the final, but stole the victory on the night. Everson on the inside. He's a favourite here.
Everson, Woffenden, Harris. First two here go through to the final here in Stockholm. It's a great start from Everson. Woffenden has made a good one as well. And Woffenden's gone wide. And Woffenden has allowed Harris through down the back straight. And now Woffenden goes wide again into the dirt. Everson has the lead. Niels Christian Everson in red. Now Woffenden chops up Chris Harris. Will Woffenden settle for second spot? Or will he try and get past Niels Christian Everson? He doesn't have to, Kel.
He doesn't have to. He rode the gauntlet there. He was leaving the door wide open. Woffenden now coming up the inside of Everson, who's going to have to slam the door shut. Harris was there, ready to bounce. Oh, look at Woffenden, look at the speed.
Here he goes!
Oh, it's tight going into turn 3. Everson on the
How's he done that?
Fabulous ride from Woffenden. So much speed, too much speed, irresistible speed. Fires himself to the front in semi-final number 2.
Well, it does mean that Woffenden is going to get a favoured choice of gate positions as a winner of a semi-final, so that was important. 3 big points for Ty Woffenden. He's edging ever closer to a second world title in 3 years. A remarkable, naturally gifted speedway rider. Brought up in Australia, his father Rob gave him opportunity after opportunity to become a speedway rider. Moved back to Europe, to England, where he was born. Family gave up everything to leave Australia. His mum and dad, Rob and Sue, went back to the UK, and here he is now edging ever closer to a second world championship. The final is to come. Hancock, Woffenden, Everson and Janowski on the way.
Yeah, lovely ride there from Ty Woffenden. Didn't have to do it, but had so much speed. Was able to generate lots of speed on the inside of Everson, who looked like he was in the driving seat. Woffenden's smart here because he runs the gauntlet initially on the outside with Chris Harris pushing really hard on the inside. It looked like for a moment that Harris was going to get into second place and relegate Woffenden to third. Everson then's out in front. Woffenden switches to the inside and generates more and more speed. And as the race comes towards the latter stages, Woffenden really then has this irresistible push, and up the inside just gets the better of the Danish rider and fires himself to the front with another wonderful ride. Really did ride so beautifully to get into the lead. Didn't need it, but he wanted it. Once again proving to everybody here that he is the main man, riding out of the top draw, producing supreme efforts on a regular basis. 13 points with 1 blip in his opening ride is a tremendous return.
World Championship leader by 24 points with 2 rounds and a final still to come. Now, what will happen in the final? Is this Greg Hancock's moment to win his first Grand Prix, pick up his first Grand Prix victory in Sweden?
Well, it will be a really emotional moment for him. He's done everything in the game apart from winning Sweden. 3 world titles, Grand Prix wins all over the world, and he hasn't managed to do it in his adopted country. He would dearly love to do it this evening.
I think he's going to get an outside gate. I think, you know, the first 2 to pick, Janowski and Woffenden, I think they'll go 1 and 2, Kel. What about you?
Well, there's every chance of that happening. I can't disagree with that. But he rode his luck, of course, Hancock, in the semi-final where he was out-battled and had to come through only after the mistake from Jason Doyle. The inside 2 gates quite clearly are the favoured gates. Gate 4, you can win from there, but Janowski out of gate 3 in the semi-final made an absolutely a beautiful start and won comfortably, so you can win from anywhere, and I'm sure he can do it. Hancock is the sort of rider that can produce that marvellous start when the pressure's really on.
Great crowd here.
Here we go.
Absolutely brilliant.
Ty Woffenden, what a night it's been after a disappointing start for the World Championship leader. Smile on his face, taking a few deep breaths. Where's he going to go? Inside gate.
Got to be, hasn't it?
Fancy it.
There you go. Woofenden in red. Gate number 1.
No surprise there from the championship leader.
Blue, Janowski, surely.
Spot on, Nigel. Absolutely spot on there.
Well, it doesn't take a lot of working out, Kelv. Don't give me too much credit, for goodness sake.
Well, take it, mate. Here we go. Now, he's going to go gate 3, Hancock. One there, of course, is opening right from there.
Yes.
And Everson will go from the outside. Super-looking lineup.
Must be hard, Kelvin, for a Grand Prix rider when you work so hard throughout the course of the evening and you finish on like 11 points from 5 rides, and then you get last pick in the final.
Yeah, not easy.
It's tough, isn't it? It's
very
tough.
competitive. Woofenden on the inside, Janowski gate 2, Hancock out of gate 3, and Everson on 11 points gets the last pick, as you rightly say. But he does have a habit of winning these big finals, doesn't he, Everson? He can jump out of somewhere and steal a win away.
Yeah, very much so. So here we go. The grand final itself, and what a lineup it promises to be.
Top quality.
What a race it promises to be. We know it's a great lineup. Good crowd, lovely venue, and as we say, grand final on the way here. It's been a good meeting so far. We've seen some hard-working races. The lead has been clear-cut on more than one occasion. Riders have won the heats comfortably, but every point has been scrapped for. As we see, Ty Woofenden on 140, 24 clear of Greg Hancock. Pedersen on 105, and Niels Christian Everson on 94.
Well, the opportunity of being world champion next weekend is looking ever more likely, isn't it? With the way he's riding, every time a rider seems to close in on him, particularly Hancock, then Woofenden has responded brilliantly. Janowski's done a great job. Holder slipping out, Holder slipping down the order. He's going to have to come good at his home track. Of course, he rides for Toruń in the extra league in Poland. Holder needs a big performance next week.
Looking forward to it.
I am, yeah. Peter Kilderman there, also lurking in 10th. Jonsson battling hard, just dipping out in latter races when he looked so strong after 3 victories in his first 4 outings. But Hancock, of course, the emotion will be building in him. He'll be trying desperately to keep it all under control as he builds himself up for the big final tonight. Janowski also, of course, was mentored by Hancock for such a long period of time. And will Hancock deny his pupil an opportunity to win a big final here this evening? Fascinating final coming up.
Yeah, he's a great talent, Janowski. He's in the British playoffs as well in the week, Monday and Wednesday at Bellevue and Poole, rides for the Poole Pirates.
Yeah.
Greg Hancock on his way back to the UK on the 7th of October, by the way, to ride at Poole in a Darcy Ward benefit meeting as well. So it's good on Greg Hancock's part for that, to make an appearance back in Britain on Wednesday, October the 7th.
Nice.
And certainly been a wonderful world champion again, Greg Hancock. 3 times he's won it.
Well, you said it earlier on, Nigel, that he wished that the season had started in Gorja.
Absolutely.
He has really come on so very strong, but quite possibly, with the way that Woofenden keeps responding, it does look like his course just going to run out of time, run out of heats. And as I say, Woofenden has had this great ability in recent Grand Prix. He was vulnerable. There's no question he was vulnerable in Latvia. He was vulnerable again in Horsens. But then his main competitors also had disappointing Grand Prix that night.
Last 3 GPs, the last 3 Grand Prix, Greg Hancock 51, Ty Woofenden 49.
There you go. Head to head. That's what I mean. If Greg could have got going just a little bit earlier, we could well have seen a real head to head. It was looking like Pedersen was going to be the man to go head to head for long periods of time, particularly in Latvia when Woofenden struggled that night and Pedersen came on really strong, but the rain may have saved Ty that particular evening. But there's no question, Hancock, can he win in Sweden?
Well, Woofenden has hit double figures in every Grand Prix that has gone the distance, and that is the difference, I think, Kelvin. He's hit double figures. He scored 8 in Daugavpils, which was abandoned after 20 heats, and he scored 5 in Warsaw that was abandoned after 12 heats. So Woofenden has hit double figures in every Grand Prix that has gone the distance, and that, I think, is the difference.
Yeah, the consistency, isn't it, that's proved to be so important this year. And he has demonstrated that so well. And here again this evening, brilliant stuff from the championship leader.
Here we go with the grand final. What a lineup it is. 2 world champions and 2 potential world champions in Iversen and Janowski. It is a terrific lineup here. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage tonight of this meeting in this wonderful city, this wonderful stadium, the Friends Arena.
Yeah.
And we're back next Saturday in Torren, talking about a fantastic track and fantastic purpose-built Speedway venue as well. It's all about the grand final here in Stockholm. Just under 60 seconds to decide who is going to win this meeting. Here we go with the grand final then. The series leader, Ty Woffenden, is going off gate number 1 in red. Mats Janowski goes off gate number 2 in blue. Can he make one of his jet-propelled starts and get a win? Greg Hancock, gate 3 in white. And Niels Christian Iversen goes off the outside in yellow. Hancock's 80th final, Woffenden's 18th, Iversen's 9th, and only Janowski's 2nd final in his Grand Prix career, his 13th meeting of his career tonight in the Grand Prix.
Super lineup for the final. It's been a terrific Grand Prix in a wonderful environment. Really is a special stadium. Woffenden has ridden brilliantly to bounce back after a disappointing start. Hancock coming out of gate 3, won his opening ride from there. Can he finish in style and win the Grand Prix, win back-to-back Grand Prix, win for the first time in Stockholm? What a fairy tale that will be. Iversen has a habit of coming up with big rides in finals like this. Could it be his night once again? He stole the Cardiff Grand Prix earlier this year. Fabulous lineup, terrific final in prospect.
Here we go, fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the ride. It's the grand final of the Takira Stockholm FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Woffenden's jumped the start. Red lights are on. Typical, you give it a big build-up and you've got to go and do it again.
Woffenden wasn't listening, was he? big build-up, but he just moved a fraction early, and no question, Jim Lawrence, the referee, rightly puts the red lights on. Clearly you see him move here. Green light comes on now. Ooh. Yeah, just mistimes it.
Cool.
Just mistimes it.
Right call.
Absolutely.
Yep, got to be the right call.
Absolutely. Yeah, just moved a fraction.
Not a lot in it, Kel, no, but it's the right call.
But he did anticipate it, so and he gained an advantage, so all fall back to the tapes. Massive build-up, we gave it there, and Ty Woffenden didn't read the script, did he, Nigel?
2 minutes is on. Woffenden was just sprinting to the start line then and had to go back and get the bike. Anyway, so yeah, we've got to do it again. And I'm not giving it a big build-up a second time. I've done that once. Jim Lawrence.
Go on, just for fun.
The referee. You know the lineup, you know who's riding. So
yeah, but people love it. They've forgotten about it by now.
They'll have recorded the first one. They can play that back.
Okay.
So the grand final is on.
Bit of curbside motors going on here with the riders, just getting the rear chains readjusted, clutches being cooled, fuel tanks being topped up with fuel, and Woffenden on the inside. Will he steal Hancock's thunder? Will he make Hancock have to wait that little bit longer to win a Grand Prix in Sweden? Hancock, of course, now 45 years of age. There is, of course, talk about how long will Greg go on for. Our colleague, of course, Philip Rising from the Speedway Star, spoke to him in the press conference yesterday, and there is no indication from Greg that he is ready to hang his Kevlars up. None at all. Loving his Speedway, still full of enthusiasm, wants to go racing as much as ever.
What a final this is. You didn't want to watch the rugby anyway, did you? Stick with the Speedway. Yeah. Ty Woffenden inside. Mats Janowski gate 2. Greg Hancock gate 3.
Brilliant.
And Niels Christian Iversen going off the outside. Quite a lineup. We'll do it again. And I just wonder, are the nerves and tension playing their part here?
They are, because Woffenden is concerned about the condition of the starting area on the inside. Wanted to go up and have a little peek before the restaging of the final, but ran out of time because the 2 minutes was always on, and he's had to work hard to make his rut work. With a temporary track, it's loose on the start and the ruts get really deep. Riders now beginning to come into line. Start Marshall wants them to behave. Second time of asking, Nigel.
Yep, here we go. Grand final again here in Stockholm. The green light is on, and And they're away this time. It's a great start from Janowski. Woofenden is equal to it, though. Woofenden is the early leader now. Hancock comes around the outside of Janowski. There's a battle for second place. Can Hancock pass Woofenden now? Woofenden, the series leader in the World Championship, has the advantage. Hancock is going to hunt him down and chase him hard if it stays like this. Woofenden will have a 25-point lead going to Torun next weekend. And Woofenden is going for only the 5th Grand Prix victory of his career.
Fabulous start from the inside from the championship leader. Oh, Iversen and Janowski really going hammer and tongs for 3rd place. Hancock couldn't get out of turn. Gate number 3 and is back in 2nd place. Woofenden is clear. He's out in front. He's comfortable. He started on his backside in his opening ride. He's going to finish with a Grand Prix victory. Brilliant stuff from him.
He's winning by the length of a straight. And Ty Woofenden of Great Britain is taking another huge step towards a 2nd world title in 3 years. Ty Woofenden with only the 5th Grand Prix victory of his career. He now holds a 25-point lead that he has maintained tonight to go to Torun and the penultimate round of the World Championship in Poland in 7 days' time. It's a case of woofy, woofy, woofy!
What a ride that was! Was a difficult start to tonight's meeting, but he bounced back with fabulous performances. Heat number 11 was a great lineup, came through with flying colours there. The inside gate, he was nervous, he jumped in initially. 2nd time of asking, showed great composure. Pulls off a fabulous win, wins comfortably in style in the Friends Arena. Hancock in 2nd, battled hard, couldn't quite get through. But this man, he is dominating the World Championship. Every time somebody gets close, he comes up with a great response, wins races at this highest level. Brilliant win for Woofenden in the Friends Arena.
Well, Ty Woofenden all year has been saying, I don't care about winning the Grand Prix as long as I score enough points and keep leading the championship. But let me tell you, he will be as proud as punch. He will be loving every minute of standing on the top step of the podium in a few moments' time.
Hugely proud moment for him. I do think he's got awfully close. He was 2nd 2 weeks ago. Really has pushed hard, and I'm sure he's delighted to have won another Grand Prix. Taken a massive step toward his 2nd world title in 3 years. Really is in the form of his life. Fully deserves to win another Grand Prix. He's been so dominant in the last 3 rounds. Of course, Hancock was terrific with 20 points in Cosgrove 2 weeks ago. With Hancock 2nd on that particular occasion. But won here, textbook ride, got away from the tapes, got himself to the front, and away we go. Here we see it again. Super start. Janowski made a good effort, but it's Woofenden on the inside. Really has the speed with Hancock coming charging into 2nd place early on. Big battle for 3rd place between Iversen and Janowski. They really did battle hard to get on the rostrum, desperate to get into 3rd place. But Ty Woofenden, so much speed. We saw it demonstrated 2 weeks ago in Cosgrove, where he went from last to 1st. He went from 3rd to 1st in the semi-final with a wonderful ride. Oh my goodness gracious me, with Iversen slamming Janowski.
Early calculations, but I think if Woofenden scores 18 in Torun, it doesn't matter what anybody else does. That is my early calculation. Well, it's an early calculation. I have to emphasise that because there are 42 points to race for, and he has a 25-point lead. Let's head down for some reaction now with Chris Louis.
Winner of the Tegera Stockholm FIM Grand Prix, Ty Woofenden. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah, that's it. Not a track that I enjoy coming to that much. I've had a bit of a bad performance here, but to set that straight today at one of the most important meetings of the year, spot on, you know. So, yeah, thanks to all the guys that were riding. It was a good meeting, and you know, thanks to my mum, Faye, my girlfriend, fiance, and her family, and you know, my team, my Pete, manager, and just everyone that's involved. You know, we're such a close-knit team, and it's working.
How important was that pass on Niels in the semi-final to get first choice of gate and take A1?
Yeah, when I got to the thing, I didn't even know I had first choice, so it kind of threw me a little bit. I was expecting like 2nd or 3rd, so yeah, it was good. Jumped the start in the first one, made the 2nd one, but it is what it is. Massive thanks to Kurt Gibbons, you're the man.
Greg's giving chase, but you maintain that 25-point lead in the championship.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, you know. It's about being consistent, and you know, when you don't start the meeting well, but you finish strong, you know, that's what champions do. So hopefully I can keep fighting. A couple of rounds to go. Yeah, I'm excited.
Congratulations, go and enjoy the champagne.
Let's go spray some chambers.
Well, brilliant stuff from Woofenden once again. He really was outstanding in the latter stages there. Came on so strong after a tough start.
Yep, so 10 rounds gone. Woofenden 143, Hancock 118, 25-point gap. So Woofenden needs 18 points in Torren next Saturday to be world champion. And that is regardless of what anybody else does. Every point that Hancock drops, that target goes down.
Well, it makes his life just that touch easier, doesn't it?
He could win it by getting to the semi-finals in Torren.
Yeah, it's perfectly possible. Woofenden on top of the box this time. It's been close a few times recently. He says he doesn't worry about winning Grand Prix, but this is a nice Brucey bonus for him here this evening with a terrific performance in the Friends Arena.
Fantastic. Many congratulations, Ty Woofenden. We're proud to hear the British national anthem. We haven't heard it anywhere near enough covering Grand Prix Speedway down the years, Kelv.
No, we haven't, and it does bring a lump to your throat, and I'm sure that Ty is immensely proud to have won here again this evening. It was a good Speedway meeting, and you know, track conditions were good. A little bit of a drama in the first corner, but riders coped with it pretty well. Leverson finished third on the night. It was a tough race for third place, with Janowski getting slammed up against the face late on in the race. Hancock will have to wait a little bit longer to break his duck of winning a Grand Prix in Sweden. Not quite there. Second place on the night for him, and a really good night. A winner 2 weeks ago and second this week. Brilliant stuff from him. Will he be able to do something similar in a week's time? But Ty Woofenden, the night belongs to him. Fantastic performance after a difficult start. Found himself on his backside before he got to the first corner in his opening ride.
I'd almost forgotten about that.
He bounced back with brilliant performances, and Heat 11 really was the turning point where he won that very strong ride against Hancock and really set the tone for the rest of the evening. Woofenden wins in style. He's almost there. He can almost touch a second world title, Nigel.
He can indeed, yeah. 25 points with 2 rounds to go. There's 41 points to play for. 17 points would mean that he could, it could only be a runoff, but 18 points.
43, isn't it?
Yep, 18 points, and he will win the world title in Torren. 42 points left to play for with 2 rounds to go.
Sorry, excuse me, yeah.
And basically 18 points in Torren. But as we say, that target will come down with every point that Hancock drops. Yeah. And, you know, it only needs... Well, he'll just be looking to match Hancock's score next week.
It is quite a remarkable story, the Woofenden story. Came into the series when he was a youngster, it was too soon. Disappeared, had the invite back. 2013, came through, even suffering that
500 to 1 for the bookies.
500 to 1.
Broke doing a selfie.
Broke his collarbone, came through, won the World Championship. Probably found it tough going last year with all the extra commitments. Comes back in 2015, looking like he's going to secure his second world title. Reduced his schedule this year. Only rides in 2 leagues and the Grand Prix. Seems to be working a treat. And Ty Woofenden really is riding out of the top drawer, dominating the championship. looking like he could well wrap up his second world title in Torun in 7 days' time.
What does he look like now? What is he doing?
Enjoying himself.
No, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, he can do what he likes. He's the winner, isn't he?
He's going to be world champion by the looks of it as well.
He got every chance.
He loves Torun as well. I spoke to him in the week, actually, Woofenden, and he said, yeah, I love riding the Torun track. It's a natural speedway surface.
He's going to be excited about going there.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure we all are. It's a fabulous venue. I'm sure we'll be in for a super speedway night. But this evening here, Niels Christian Iversen, Hancock and Woofenden. Got to say that Pedersen's charge is just slipping away, Nigel.
Yes.
And, you know, he was looking so strong earlier this year, but Nicky in recent weeks appears to have lost that spark in his performance. That crash he suffered in Gorzhov, maybe that's part of the issue, but says that he's not happy with his equipment. He hasn't quite got the speed. Certainly Woofenden's speed is extraordinary. And all testament to his engine tuner. Peter Johns is doing a great job providing great speed for Hancock and Ty Woofenden, both of them using him. And Niels Christian Iversen riding nicely for third place. But, yep, it is now, everything seems to be pointing towards Woofenden clinching his second world title next weekend.
Absolutely. And when you say about Nicky's now 38 points behind Ty, and there's only 42 points to race for. So I think tonight has officially ended Nicky Pedersen's World Championship challenge.
Yeah.
Which is a shame in many ways, because he's such a fantastic rider and has been on the pace for the majority of the year. He's just faded, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and it's I'm sure he's confused, because he was so fast at the beginning of the season, appeared to have found speed that he had lacked in previous years, but unfortunately for him, it just has run out of steam at the vital time, and that has allowed Woofenden to steal a march on him and the rest of the opposition. In truth, he's just been a little bit too good for the rest of the pack.
Enjoyed your company, Kelvin. I'll see you during the week back in the UK, of course, where we're going to watch some more speedway, and then next Saturday in Torun in Poland. Look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for your company as always, Kelvin Tatum, and to you for watching as well. The World Championship moved to the Friends Arena in Stockholm for the third successive year. Ty Woofenden went into the meeting with a 25-point lead in the race for the World Championship. But it was Stockholm-based Greg Hancock who made all the early running, and Woofenden got off to the worst possible start. Hit the deck early on, all four riders back. He was able to come back and race again. But Hancock continued his fine form early on, and he looked the early favourite to go on and win the meeting. Niels Christian Iversen continuing his good form as well. But Hancock, for the first time in Stockholm, looked as though he could go on and win in Sweden. He's never won a Grand Prix in Sweden, which is his adopted home during the summer months. But as the meeting went on, Maciej Janowski started to pull off some fantastic starts and really turn out to be a severe threat to the opposition. It got tight for the battle for the top 8. Andreas Jonsson, with 3 race wins, managed to get into the semi-finals in his home country. Michael Jepsen Jensen scrapped for every single point. He's still in contention for a place in the top 8. Hancock ruthless in passing Nicky Pedersen, and Chris Harris got to the semi-final for the first time in 3 years. Woofenden held on in there though. Hancock had the lead in the meeting, but Woofenden closed the gap, started to match him, and there was some spectacular racing and tough, ruthless speedway as well. Jason Doyle managed to sneak in with a win in his last ride into the semi-final spots, but then he suffered problems in the semi-final and crashed out. Peter Killerman, he was excluded for bringing down Harris in semi-final number 2. A battle to the line. Ty Woofenden won the Grand Prix and now leads the World Championship by 25 points with 2 rounds to go. The show moves on to Torun in Poland on Saturday for round number 11, where this man can wrap up the world title. It's many congratulations to Great Britain's Ty Woofenden, winner of the 2015 Together Stockholm FIM Speedway Grand Prix.